Let's see. La 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 la. All right. Oh, my. Okay. There we go. Nice. 24.90. Okay, let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Come on. What up, William, brother? Oh, you're the first one. Did you find the like button yet? I almost clicked in stream instead of pin. There we go. How you doing, brother? Oh, dang it. The tomato of the stupid has joined the chat. What's up, my brethren? I wonder why Williams didn't pop up here. Oh, okay, I got it. Let's see. Man, it's going to be rough. I'm going to keep looking at this camera instead of this camera. But I can do this. Bam. Bam. Hold on. Bam. 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 I'm having too much fun. All right, let's get started. How you guys doing? How y'all doing? All right, let's see. Got a new tab, monitor. So let's see how this does. Oh Jesus, not put that on there. That'll piss people off. All right, let's see. Celebs trolled. You know what? Let's do this. Maybe I can take some of this away, actually. I can probably go all the way down to here. There we go. There we go. Jesus is my gardener. But I'm in Mexico. What up, Mayo brother? All right. Oh, we got some more messages. Did you guys see my new short yet? I didn't see your likes on it yet. Hey, I'm Mayo. I just saw yours. Thanks, brother. Oops, oh, I hit the wrong button. Bam. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I broke border. Thank you, brother. All right. Well, we'll watch it real quick. I'm gonna watch it there. Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. You guys heard about the whole Mondami thing in he wants everybody in New York to have their air conditioning. What up, Cat? Mondami wants everybody in New York to set their air conditioning at a minimum of 78 degrees. Or yeah, minimum. So not 77, not 77 or lower, 78. Because, and he said, don't worry, all of our office buildings and everything are set to 78 without showing any proof of it. So I figured I'd help him out a bit. Everybody, we're going to do our best to help Zoran Mondami keep the temperature at 78 degrees. Cut. Screw that. Everybody, we're going to do our best to help Zoran Mondami keep the temperature at 78 degrees. Cut. Screw that. Everybody, we're going to do our best to help Zoran. Sorry. What's up, Sir Jacob, brother? I didn't hear that, but I know he wants to close Rikers Island. What up, Librado? Remember to hit the like button, everybody. Yeah, I love it. I'm getting a little bit of traction on X with it, too, so we'll see how everything goes. Oh, boy. Okay, let's see. How things going, Kat? I haven't heard an update about your book in a while. All right, let's see. I'm running out of options. Everyone needs to see this. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Because a lot they're socialists, and I think they're undercover communists. Listen. One of the other representatives or senators, I don't know which one. I think it's a House of Representatives. That's maybe elected unless Republicans get elected. She deleted her X account because for the past like 10 years she's been saying like, oops, I forgot my napkin, so I wiped my hand on the American flag, and like we need to close down all prisons and everything needs to be free. And then people respond, I'm with you on some stuff, but why do the prisons need to be eliminated? Do you just want really bad people on the street with our children? It's really weird. Madame Danny. Madam Danny. Madame thinks only CO2 will be. Yes, it's so stupid. Very chill evening. Yes, sir. Yeah, it just started 6 minutes ago. I don't need air conditioner. Put ice in my underdraw. Mr. Pilates, not only social. So what's that person? Nope. I wrote a brief part yesterday. Actually, I haven't shared it yet because I need some polishing. Good. Polish it up. I was about to say that if they close it, they'll be able to do it. Well, right. So, and this is what I think. What's up? Call me love. What I think's happening. I think they want to destroy all of these institutions, tear them down, and then be like, oops, we screwed up, and then rebuild them and be able to hire all of their own people in all of these positions. Because there's no way you're not going to have a society without prisons, no doubt. So they would, they remove the prisons, then crime would skyrocket. Then they'd be like, we were young, we didn't know what we were doing. We just chanted in the streets a bunch. So then you would be able to, like the defund the police thing. The defund the police thing was to defund the police. So fire a bunch of police officers. Crime goes up, and then they're like, "Oops, we've got to refund the police." But now they have things in place where they can hire the people they want. So now they have police officers that are down with their side, all up in the police force, in the high ends and everything. So they're stacking the deck. And that's just so wackadoodle, and it's obvious as you said, Mom, Dami, and this doesn't. That socialists love prisons. They will fill the prisons up quick. Yes, right. Where are you going to put all of the non-socialists at? Sissy, stupid autocorrect. My opinion, they keep crime so rampant so they can continue to reap non-benefits. Mayor Johnson, right? And why do they lie so blatantly? Why do they lie so blatantly that crime's lower than it really is? I mean, listen, like my vote was available for Republicans or Democrats, but I just didn't get it. I just don't understand the logic. So there's got to be an ulterior motive. There's got to be. And the only thing I can think of is to rebuild. So when it gets rebuilt, whoever's buddies with that current mayor will get the contracts to build it. So if I'm mayor and I'm like, man, I'm going to ruin this place, so I need to make as much money as I can. So I say, hey, I'm going to destroy all the prisons here, but then we're going to have to rebuild them. So I'm going to have your construction company do all the building. I'll overpay you by like $400 million, and you just kick me back $200 million when I get out. Mandami is a social democrat, not a socialist. He's a very reformist and very opportunist in his approach, and he loves working with the capitalist parties. Absolutely, because he's a capitalist. He's absolutely a capitalist. He wouldn't have been a rapper and an actor for the money if he wasn't a capitalist. Yeah. What up, Robert? Crime, they say, is down because the police are not making arrests. So there is a very interesting thing. Let me see if I can find it real quick. About the reports of so the mortuary reports and the hospital reports of murders, and then the police reports, and the numbers don't match. And then there was just somebody that got arrested for working with the coroner and buying like doing a kickback thing. So they were using dead people, not labeling them as dead, and collecting, not collecting not collecting like Social Security on their behalf, but billing Medicaid, saying that this person was injured. Like, here's the police report saying he got shot, but when the body, I guess they never filed a death certificate, so the body's not dead. So now this person needs round the clock care, and they need a bunch of whatever, but it's all fake, and it was all So and one guy got arrested, actually two guys and a coroner got arrested for it already. So if one's doing it, multiple's doing it, at least two. All right, let me see if I can find this real quick. I think it's Medicaid. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, here. So I mean, this is just an X thing, but we'll see. Let me get this up. He's pretty much milquetoast as liberals and capitalist parties. 25 to 75 arrests is not acceptable. Yeah, but I don't really hate. I don't really have much crime near me other than wage theft. Have any Greek food lately? Hold on 1 second. We'll check that in just a second. All right, so here, this is it. So a fraudster exploited hospice care, billing the government for patients who were dead or never existed while collecting $33,000 per patient per year. He funneled his money into luxury purchases, including a Rolls Royce. So how many other people that were dead, that this hospice care said they were not dead? And when they started looking into this place, they said, the guy said, I'm just behind on filing my paperwork. So he went to a coroner and got the Social Security numbers of dead bodies, and then said, okay, now some of these patients have died, to try to get them off their back. But then they filled it up. All right, what did I miss? All right, sorry about that. They do indeed have for-profit prisons. Yes, absolutely. What up, Bob? Certainly people profit even off of stunted prisons, warrants of people in positions of power, certain bonuses for doing certain things. Actually, no, Ben there says, girl, you're talking to her. Kick me a smooth 200 mil. Crime is vastly a symptom of poverty and systemic failure. I agree. But there's also another problem. The problem is when there's incorrect crime statistics that are being fudged. Crime statistics is what's used to fund resources for areas. Everything for funding is for each funding round is for particular areas as where how each city is cut up. But so you need the correct numbers to put the correct resources behind it, because so many people are finding ways to get very wealthy on people not being dead. We don't have those numbers, and then when you have, I mean, it seems to me there's a lot of people lying. So if you can't get those numbers down, and then you have people taking up advantage of other people. There's so many coming through now of independent, like the what was the name of the Feeding Our Futures thing and stuff like that, where they're trying to help the poor, and then that dude just got arrested. They flew out to Somalia to pick him up. $250 million he shipped out of the country. So this is stuff to help the poor that's just being pounded into the pockets of the people saying they're helping. So if it's happening one place, it's happening 500 other places, right? So it's like, okay, so we give so much money to social welfare programs. Why are we so naive to not audit them? Why don't we audit them yearly? And then we could take care of poverty in the area. We could even use some of these to create jobs, dozens of jobs in each neighborhood, to make sure that stuff's taken care of. And it could help add a lot of stuff back into the community, but they just don't do it. because they don't want to do it. If I was making $250 million over 4 years, what up, Lord Alcatraz? Giro. What up, Shiraj? I need some round the clock care. Fake lamb. Mine is more about dissing a pair. Dun, 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 dun. Crime is way down because of technology, but the Democrats sanction crime, shoplifting, looting, straight takes are. Listen, and this is the thing that I have an issue with. You can't say people are stealing food because they're starving. And then, so then don't make shoplifting food an arrestable cause. But when people say we don't get arrested for shoplifting food and then go shoplift everything else to the point that places are closing down and locking everything up and everything starting to look like a prison, you can't do that. And when you make it easy to be able to achieve your goal of getting things from the store, you're less inclined to do things about your life to be able to afford to get things from the store. But yeah. But with the amount of money that's been stolen on food programs, we can pretty much guarantee there would be nobody hungry in America if it was spent properly. We ain't gonna find no freaking Republicans or Democrats doing that right. The only real gyro. What up, Anonymous? Help at the festival every year with my cousin. Would I drop an extra lamb in the clean trap? I must have missed something. Okay, talking to him. I thought about I'd probably have diaspora guys. We got a lot of Greek. You could, I bet, if you had 3 jobs and a plan. What up, Jim? No, I told you about fasting. I've been fasting heavily. I just ate 10 raw oysters. My brain's firing 7. So zinc and zinc ionophores, brother. It's unbelievable. And I think we have a huge population of Americans, a huge swath of the population of Americans are zinc deficient. I think this is why you see so many people talking about testosterone replacement and ding-a-ling to hardening pills and stuff like that, like every freaking third ad. And you don't ever see anybody say, get your zinc levels checked. No, they just say, get some freaking, like, take care of the symptom, not the cause. Yeah, it drives me crazy. Guacamole. Also, why does 42069 look familiar to me? 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. And, or 420 is 420, and 69 is 69. Day 5 of very little food. I read 12-hour fasting is the safest for your heart. Little snacks. Yeah, I do 12 hours easily a day. I'll probably eat a snack at midnight, and I won't eat again until 2:30. But I've been doing that for a while. People who do 16-hour fast, 12 hours, there's a study linked to them, 91% higher chance of heart failure. Jeez, if I ever need ding-a-ling pills, I'm calling it quits. Listen, I'm hoping that I can make a difference with what I want to do with the medical system. I think and I've said this many times, I think if we're able to require doctors to do a vitamin and mineral deficiency test or sufficiency test on when kids have to have physicals to go to school and whatnot, at that time, that's when they usually get found out that they have ADHD and freaking anxiety and blah, blah, blah. A lot of the same symptoms as like B12 deficiencies. We got to make sure we're not putting these kids on heavy pharmaceuticals when they just need a vitamin deficiency taken care of. What up, little native mama? Stay topped up on electrolytes, Jim Bob. Yep, electrolytes are very important. I didn't believe it when I first heard 91%. That's a lot of people dropping. Not that you couldn't lead a healthy life without it, but yeah. Your eyes see your nose 100% of the time. Our brain just chooses to forget it. Yep, isn't that amazing? 8-hour fasting studies. 8-hour fasting studies. Okay, 8-hour fast, the 16-8 diet. Yeah. Research notable impact on weight, cardiovascular health, and metabolism. Studies show. Let's try to find issues. Circadian timing. Also, I read a study today about melatonin helping with skeletal muscle pain. Skeletal muscle. What's the freaking term? Skeletal muscle flow. I can't remember. Anyway, bone and muscle pain, where the bones that move your that are connected to ligaments and bone, the muscles that are connected to ligaments and bone, which is pretty much all of them, and pain in there. Melatonin helps that, and obviously low B12 and methylfolate can cause low melatonin levels. Like the reason for insomnia in a lot of cases is because you don't have enough B12, or you don't have something in your gut called intrinsic factor. That's the stuff that absorbs B12 through your intestine from your food and from swallowed supplements. So if you don't have that, or have an issue with that, or you ate some wackadoodle chemistry that destroyed that, then your body's ability to produce melatonin drops, and then you're going to start having aches and pains more often, and then you're not going to be able to sleep with the aches and pains. But then melatonin helps relieve that and helps you sleep. But you want to say, what chemistry do I not have in my body so my body can make this, rather than people just saying, it's not, my body doesn't have any melatonin in it, let me put some in there. Long defiant. For 3 days, every 2 weeks. It's amazing. It's great. I agree. Life skills. What up, crying fish? The heart study specifically. Okay. Hold on. Let me set this up. Osteoporosis. No, skeletal muscles. Naruto muscles. Skeletal muscles. Gelato. What's the freaking term? What the hell's the name of the freaking melatonin and pain relief? Musculoskeletal pain. Jeez, I just missed an O. Musculoskeletal. Man. Anyway. Okay. And 8-hour studies and heart attack. Musculoskeletal. Fasting is great stuff. Yeah, we watched a video on yesterday's stream about in Russia, starting in like the late 80s, early 90s. They started clinics around different areas in the Soviet Union, well, now Russia, and the government pays for it. It's so helpful with things like asthma, diabetes, freaking gout, hundreds, and they have like an 80% success rate between I want to say, what was it, 3 and 40 days, like relief allergies. George Bush doesn't care about black people. Did he ever? Something Kanye said, but when does the fasting eat cancer cells? So starving the cancer cells is what it's said to do. It said so. The cancer loves sugar, and you have constant amounts of sugar in your bloodstream, and your body basically runs off of that. But when you fast, after that sugars runs out, your body converts to glucose from the liver, and then as the glucose starts to run out, then it starts converting fats in your body to a different form that allows glycogen, that allows your body to run off of a fat rather than it's like having a car that can run off of diesel and gasoline. It's like it can run off of fat and sugar. So after you burn the sugar out, your body goes through a fat dissolving process, and apparently that when the sugar levels are finally low enough, the cancer starts to retreat. Usually 18 to 20 hours a day. No consumption. It's just black coffee and water. Yep. That's what I do. Black coffee. Oh, I don't have black coffee. Yeah, black coffee with cow's milk is what I have in the morning, and then so I won't eat. This is my daily routine, but I'll fast. I'll do a 12-hour fast that goes from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I'll have coffee with cow's milk, raw milk, at about 7:30 or 8 a.m. And at 8 p.m., right before I stream, I'll have a small snack. I did a 4-day butter fast back in December. Now I only do it once a month. Yeah, you gotta love that butter. I don't hold it against me, but I'm quite skeptical about all the pro-fasting messaging lately. It seems to correspond with the right prices in food. Brother, it's definitely worth looking into. Okay, sorry. 2024 observational study, 20,000 adults found that those who followed an 8-hour restricted schedule had a 91% risk of cardiovascular death compared to those who across. The study only shows the association, does not provide causation. Diddy, fasting eats cancer cells when there's no sugar left in the blood. Right. Well, listen, what I think you're actually seeing, Tom, it might just happen to be that it's at the same time, but there's a huge distrust for the medical system. So people are now looking into alternatives, and one of the best alternatives for standard daily, like, American issues is fasting. And I tell you what, we started to get really, really sick after breakfast was introduced as like the most important meal of the day, which was propaganda. It was absolutely wackadoodle. My longest fast was 11 days. Benefits decline after 3 and after 5. The extra days aren't necessary. Jeez. I want to do a long fast one of these days. Last time I did 7 days. Someone's behind you. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, I broke my camera. There we go. Dun. Okay. Matthew 17, verse 21 talks about fasting and prayer can cure all. Right. And so we brought this up yesterday too, oddly enough. And why did it take so long for society to start saying, okay, like, you figure all these years, we, like, atheists, Christians, everybody have either been against or for it. Nobody would have said, well, hey, let's look at what the book says to do and let's see if there's any value to it. You figure the atheist would be like, okay, let's test fasting so we can put these Bible thumpers to bed. And they didn't do that. You figure the Christians or Jews or whatever would have said, hey, let's test this out to shut these atheists up. But no, because we like to think that we're smarter today than people were 1,000 years ago because we have technology. And I argue that we're dumber. I love 3-day fast, intermittent fasting, OMAD, 1 meal a day, and window eating isn't enough. No, I agree. This heat makes fasting a lot easier. It makes sense to me. Fair. I've never really eaten breakfast except for maybe a fruits. Half an hour after getting up, and I always feel more focused and energized without fatty breakfast. I agree. Breakfast, I always crash. 2 o'clock or something. If I eat at 7 or 8 a.m., 2 o'clock, I'm like, oh, nap. Do you know car seat headrest? Do I know one? Car seat headrest. They took it out of the Bibles. No way. Yeah, right. Because we trust for-profit companies to treat us, and then non-profit companies to save us. It's freaking wackadoo. Fruit, smoke, and an espresso. All right, let's see. But we watched something pretty cool yesterday. Let me see if I can find it here. I guess we're going into fasting. Oh, no, I've never heard of them. Car seat headrest. Banned car seat headrest. Nope. No, never heard of them. Leesburg, Virginia. That's my area. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland originally. Same area. Wow, 2011, 2016. Yeah, you owe me an explanation. Why you produce so much propaganda, you wackadoos? Okay, cool. I'll take it out. I'll leave it there. Take it out. Okay. All right, let me see if I can find something small here. Something short, something under 10 minutes. Like the main guide to like what? If Chris Pratt says it, enlightenment thinking ruin Christianity. Stop trying to line up religion in the scientific method. Right. And I think what a lot of people also forgot that school isn't the truth. Like there are secular schools. There are also Christian colleges and universities that still have science academies. Like they still do. They don't just say, okay, science class, how did this happen? God did it. That's not how it works. But that's how secular folks are told. They say that they use God in the gaps, and they say, oh, well, what happened between here and here? Oh, God was busy. No, that's not how it works. They actually there's more Christian what is that thing called? Medal. Nobel Prize winners in chemistry than any other group. And it's like, but we're so separation of church and state that we don't even look into that or take it as a problem. So that you have a bunch of people that are educated in this system and a bunch of people that are educated in this system that they don't agree with each other, even though they can't prove each other wrong. Car seat headrest band. Look them up. Their peak. I'll check it out. I'll keep it on. I'll check it. I can't play it live. I can't play it on stream. I hate breakfast. Stop eating pork, cut back sugars. A year and a half ago, no alcohol life is good when you're not constipated. Yeah. Alcohol's a complex carbohydrate. A lot of extra sugar in your body. There. Extremely low testosterone levels too, getting worse and worse. Zinc and zinc ionophores. So if you go to my website, 110thgrade.com. So get like zinc bisglycinate, which is like a very highly absorbable zinc, and it's very cheap. It's like $5-6. And then you want zinc ionophores. So like quercetin, like right here, quercetin with bromelain. So quercetin's the gun and zinc is the bullet. So zinc ionophores is what pushes zinc into the cells. So if you take zinc, it might make you just poop, depending on like what type of zinc you're taking. It might do different things. Magnesium make you poop. Different types of magnesium, like magnesium glycinate, makes you chill, and magnesium citrate make you poop. But yeah, so there's different types. But you need zinc ionophores to push the zinc through, else it'll just hang out in your blood and not go anywhere. There, not there. Gotcha. Did OMAD for some time, one meal a day for some time, quit because of the possibility of gallstones in the long term. Just make sure I don't eat later than 6 p.m. now at 4 to 6 p.m. So it's very important that you make sure that your K2, vitamin K2 levels are high enough. So D3 from sunlight, so you get cholesterol in your body. Sun hits the cholesterol in your skin and converts it into vitamin D3. D3 pulls calcium out of your intestines into your bloodstream, but it'll just float around your body in the bloodstream. K2, particularly like MK7, vitamin K2, MK7, pulls calcium out of the bloodstream and tissues and puts it into the bone, like teeth plaque. If you've got tooth plaque, it's often because it's a low vitamin K2. Your gums are trying to remineralize your teeth. Osteocalcins is activated with vitamin K2, and then you can remove. This is why back in the day they used to think cavities were called tooth worms, because they would open and close. If they get too big, then yeah, they can't close back up. But cavities, small cavities, can open and then remineralize. But if you have tooth plaque, it's very good to check to see if you're low in vitamin K2, because your gums are trying to remineralize your teeth. But if your vitamin K2 is too low, it'll just build up there. Same thing with your arteries. The calcium chunks will just build up in your arteries, hardening your arteries and stuff. But vitamin K2 will move the calcium out of the soft tissues and into the teeth and bone. Non-profits is a misnomer. They still have to justify subsidies in order to pay their workers. I'd say they're worse. Yeah. I'd say they're worse too. Gas City. Me and her started dating. Congratulations, Aiden. Miss Trunchbull. I will say this. I began June 240 and I'm now still 207. Wow. After only eating for 1 weekend in the middle of last month, just all water and electrolytes and a daily multivitamin. Yeah. The only... now, After you start getting away from the multivitamin, start really, and I'll help. Really look into the ratio what you need of different vitamins to each other. They're never correct in multivitamins. Never correct. You don't have enough D3 and K2 ratio. You don't have enough B12 and methylfolate. And usually the B12 is cyanocobalt. I mean, yeah, you'll eat now that you're going to be eating a lot less, you're going to be saving a lot of money. Use some of that saved money to get yourself supplemented properly. I went from 272 to 185 in a year, less than a year. Jeez. Okay. Consider joining the channel. It lowers your cholesterol. I might. What's up, Georgie? Yeah. Well, it's Amazon. It's Amazon. So I don't know if you click on the link and it shows up. It's all Amazon. Everything goes through Amazon. But this one here definitely does. The only ones I'm not sure about is Superior Source. Superior Source is made in America. It's only got this B12 has got 208,000 times the recommended B12 in it. And Canada, they may ship to Canada. I don't know, but I know they don't ship to the UK. But this is called No Shot. It dissolves under the tongue. So if you've got liver issues or you don't have any or low intrinsic factor in the guts, even if you swallow B12 pills, it won't absorb through your intestines. You just poop it out. So this is a workaround. It absorbs under the tongue and it's already methylated, so it doesn't have to be methylated by the liver. It just starts working. Cutting edge research here. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying to help everybody, help the world. Do squats and sleep in pitch black and help boost your test levels. Alcohol, processed lunch meats. Yeah, all of that. Yeah, all of it. Yeah, all of that kills it. And right, the dark rooms and sleeping in a cool room. Like, this is one of the issues about what Mondami's saying about the 78 degrees thing. You sleep worse, you're less productive. But they're saying it's worth it because you're going to save the world by not using CO2. Even though the less CO2 we produce, the more other countries produce to make up for our consumption. So it doesn't matter. We're just suffering. It's not going to help. It's not going to do anything beneficial because the earth is liquid. The air is liquid, I mean. Like if you produce CO2, it doesn't just sit above your country and be like, your country is too. No, it's going to float around. It drives me crazy. I need animanium vitamins. If you can find them, brother, tell me. All right, let's see. Let's see. Freaking 4 hours. All right. Intermittent fasting. All right, we'll do this one real quick. You miss her?
Anything you could possibly do for your health. Fasting and intermittent fasting are the most. Are you totally against sunscreen?
Yeah, totally. I'm totally against sunscreen. Absolutely, dude. If you sunburn happens when your vitamin D levels are too low. So if you have D levels, your skin can handle a lot. Absolutely. Don't use all the other your skin is the largest organ on your body. The more stuff you put on it, the more ends up inside your body. Yeah, so yeah, I'm absolutely. I don't use any sunscreen. I use zero. Yeah. If you're gonna use any, use zinc. Just do. There you go. Does it have an NDC number? Yeah. You talking about the medication? Are you? I don't know if I guess you're talking to me. Yeah, this is all freaking. Yeah, it's all this. It's not my formulations. It's the ones I use. Isn't D3 bad for your bones? No, it's very good for your bones. It's how calcium gets out of your intestines and into your bloodstream. Then K2. So if you don't have enough K2, then the calcium you eat stays in your blood. So there's a misnomer that that D3 is bad for your bones because if you take a lot of D3 and a lot of calcium, it just goes into your bloodstream. You need K2 to pull it out of your bloodstream and soft tissues into your bone. Here, I'll show you. So they call K2 the traffic cop for calcium. It tells calcium where to go. Hold on 1 second. All right, my bad. Okay, so here, K2, MK7, or K2. Vitamin K2 and calcium. Or just vitamin K2, whatever. Not MK2. All right, so vitamin K2 is a fat-soluble nutrient that directs calcium into your bones and teeth and preventing it from accumulating in your arteries. It's primarily found in animal products and fermented foods, with MK4 and MK7 being the most common bioavailable. So if you do not have enough D3, if you just take D3, your bones get weak and your arteries get calcified. So that's very important. But I think that the D3 is bad for your bones, scares people away from from taking things that are very helpful. D3, as D3 decreases in your body, all cause health issues goes up. Everything gets worse. So it's bad. It's bad. Dr. Berg, okay, we'll go back to him. Hold
on. In creating more health. Now, on the flip side, snacking and continued eating is the worst thing you can do for your health. So today I'm going to show you the basics of how to do intermittent fasting. Actually, it's not necessarily just for the beginners, it's for advanced people too, because I found that if you're running into a plateau or things aren't going as smooth, you need to go back to the basics. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of fasting. Well, we probably shouldn't talk about potatoes.
From what? So you should be given a lot. If you're talking about, Greg, if you're talking to me, you should be given a lot of D3. 25 hydroxy vitamin D. They give in doses of 200,000 IUs for skin cancer and chemical burn and severe sunburn. Not typically in America, though. 25 hydroxy vitamin D and not 85. All right, let's say 25 vitamin D, 25. Well, vitamin D3, vitamin D25 and skin cancer. I said sin cancer. Okay. This is serum levels share a complex dual relationship with skin cancer. High levels can indicate heavy UV exposure, increasing cancer, while adequate levels are critical for a prognosis for better after diagnosis. So you want higher level vitamin D. So the sun will cause damage to your skin. And while it's doing that, it's creating vitamin D. But if you already have high serum vitamin D, you get better results. And your body can fight off. It works like a steroid. That's why a lot of doctors don't consider it a vitamin, because vitamins are things your body can't make. And your body can make, your skin can make vitamin D. UV light hits cholesterol and converts it to D3. I like Dr. Berg because he explains everything. We can decide for ourselves. I agree. I'm a Christian. Ronaldo, D3 is always added to milk. Why isn't there enough nutrients? No, they destroyed the milk. They destroy the milk when they boil it, when they steam it. They raise it to a very high temperature that destroys all the life in milk. So they have to add vitamin A and vitamin D back in because there's no beneficial bacteria that would create that as it eats the milk. That's why you can't really make milk with store-bought. You can't make cheese with store-bought milk unless you add other stuff to it. You see the kids these days listen to the rap music, which gives them the brain damage. With them hip and with them hip and hopping and pipping and bopping. That's all the jazz about. Nightcap, born and raised in Florida, always fishing. I've been to CM 63 in younger days. Sunscreen wasn't a big deal. I agree. Whoever said that people with PhDs are actually smarter, they do.
About the meat and cauliflower of fasting. What we're trying to do is we're trying to go from sugar burning to fat burning. A big confusion that a lot of people have when they're fasting is they think their body is starving. They think it's not eating. But in reality, your body is eating when it's not eating. It's finally eating its own fat.
Right.
That is why
fat works
the best indicator to know
fat
that
can work as a storage
facility for a lot of things, vitamins, oil, fat soluble vitamins, but also toxins. So if you've got a lot of toxins, if you've done a lot of toxins and you've eaten a bunch of toxins or smoked blood toxins or whatever, they'll stay in your fat and they'll slowly poison you unless you burn through that fat and create new fat and replace it with new healthy fat, high fat diet. You're just slowly poisoning yourself. I bet women are starving for that giant hog you're packing. Freaking panda. They do it like reading on your own paper.
It's working. Is your appetite gone?
Okay? Right. Oh, real quick. Sorry. So an interesting thing that about fasting is the stimulant effect of it and the antidepressant effect of it. So typically the first, after like the second day, so like the third through like the fifth day, there's a stimulant effect. For some reason, when you expect to have no energy because you haven't eaten, you're told food is energy. The problem is not all food's energy. There's energy in some food, but not all food is energy. So after that's done and you start burning through the stuff that's been poisoning you for over the years, it's been leaching the toxins that you've eaten and drank and smoked and breathed in, has absorbed into all these fats, and they just stay there slowly leaching them out. So once that starts to get burned away, you actually get a boost. So something that has more energy producing capability, fat, is more energetic for you and more stimulating than sugar. And so after you get in that, but then that burns out after a while, and you hit like a plateau. And then after you reintroduce food, and he'll probably get into this, you'll have a very antidepressant effect. Well, B12 and methylfolate and a lot of other vitamins, deficiencies of them causes depression. So when you start eating foods again, you're getting a burst of vitamins and minerals that will then have a antidepressant effect. In China, they use vitamin B12 and methylfolate as ADHD medication and anxiety medication for school-age kids. So that's why
going away, you don't have any more appetite, and you're not hungry anymore.
In America,
guess what?
milk
it's
for sure.
Working.
Other countries pasteurize,
and it makes it a lot easier
right.
to
So
stick
we pasteurize and homogenize. And so what they do when they have milk and they let milk sit, the fat floats to the top. They skim off the fat to try to make it fat-free, and then they only add back as much as they say is on the label. And with the rest of the fat, they'll make a bunch of other products. This way they can make a bunch of products from the same load of milk. But you need that. You need that stuff. So this is why I buy raw milk and I buy stored milk, and I mix them 50-50 to reintroduce the fats and bacteria back into the milk so it can start kind of like B2B, the toxicity of our city. Our city. Sometime third grade in the 1930s, it was smarter than today's college program. I agree. Should not consume anything at all while fasting. I was told drink bone broth. You should drink water. You should drink water. Some doctors and nutritionists say black coffee. But if you've never done it before, absolutely try something like that. Definitely nothing with sugar in it. Here to help, 98. Here to help. Bone broth is used to come out of fat. Yeah, that's what I would suspect. But to come off of it, especially bone broth, because that's going to have the vitamin K2 in it. That's going to have the vitamin D in it, the calcium in it, B12 in it. Team Georgie. I think people who are dieting to lose weight should plug out every couple of weeks to speed up their metabolism. Yeah, and this is why. Not fasting is why your metabolism starts to fall down. Your fats get denser and denser and denser and full of toxins, and they're leaching back in, and you just slow down and slow down and slow down. You've got to force yourself through it. So you can do it without fasting, like by bodybuilding, but
if you don't have an appetite. So the principle that I've talked about in other videos is you have to get healthy to lose weight, not lose weight to get healthy.
Agreed.
That means that we're not necessarily focused on weight loss. Weight loss will come after you get healthy. But a better indicator for success is your ability to fast comfortably because you're not hungry. Like right now, it's 12 o'clock noon. I haven't eaten since yesterday at about 6:30, Am I hungry? I'm not hungry. I am absolutely not interested in any food at all. I don't want to eat anything right now. The first meal that I have will be roughly about 3:30 today. And even then, I could probably fast longer just because I've been doing it for a long time. But you want to get into a condition where the food is no longer controlling you. You're controlling your food. So many people are into this situation where the food is literally controlling their life and it's destroying their life. All right, so the first thing you need to do is skip breakfast, okay? Or start to push your breakfast further
Winfrey workout video
towards lunch.
Please be true. Please be true. Please be true. The legend is live and viral, bro. Yeah, please be true. I'm gonna check it out.
So when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, are you really hungry? Or are you just eating out of habit? Chances are you're not going to be hungry for breakfast. So don't eat. So the rule of thumb is don't eat if you're not hungry, okay? Now to help you not be hungry for breakfast, you have to make sure that you keep your carbs down for your lunch and your dinner, because if you have carbs in your lunch or your dinner, guess what? The next day, you're going to be hungry in the morning.
Earlier.
But if you keep your carbs low, and I'm talking about roughly about maybe 20 grams, maybe 30 grams, then you're not going to be hungry in the morning. The other thing that you can do is you can also do the bulletproof coffee. You can add either butter to your coffee or MCT oil. Butter is very satisfying, and MCT oil will turn into ketones, so it's going to be a lot easier to go all the way up until your first meal at noon. So depending on if you drink coffee or not, if you don't drink coffee, just do a tablespoon of MCT oil. That's a type of extract from coconut oil that turns into ketones very, very fast. So the other thing you have to realize is that all these hormones are on rhythms or waves, okay? And the cortisol hormone peaks at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you may find that you're hungry in the morning because of a cortisol spike, but you're not really hungry. It's just a hormonal shift and a sensation that you get. So the next thing I'm going to recommend is if you have this minor hungry feeling, just ignore it. Ignore the hunger. 9 times out of 10, it will go away, okay? And that's just because there's certain hormonal shifts happening in the body that are creating that sensation, but just ignore it. Now, if you ignore it and it doesn't go away and you feel dizzy, tired, weak, then you need to eat. But you really need to be able to tell the difference between hunger and time to eat. But realize as you start doing this, it's going to
be. Did you see that woman? Did you see that woman adding sprinkles to her chicken wings? Sorry. I know everybody's into this, but woman adds sprinkles to chicken wings. Please let me find it. Oh, dude. This is so freaking crazy. Butter coffee's great. It's called Bulletproof.
Can I see it?
That's it.
Time to try the birthday cake wing. Can't forget about the fries. It's the aesthetics for me.
It's the aesthetics for her, not the taste. It's the aesthetics. Well, dude, you brought it up. This is a crime against chicken, it says.
Can I see it? Time to try the birthday cake wing. Can't forget about the fries. It's the
aesthetics
for me.
It's her aesthetic. It's the aesthetics for her.
Going to get easier, and you won't have any hunger in the morning unless you consume carbohydrates.
Yeah.
All right. The next little thing I'm going to say is at this first meal, make sure you add some fat at the end of the meal. That can be pecans or olives or some nut butter. It could be peanut butter. It could be brie cheese. Butter. Could be fatty meats.
What's up, Gwen? You're sick of looking at it? Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Why do you want to add fat? Yep. Because when you start doing intermittent fasting, you haven't adapted yet. And so you need the fat to help you go longer, to feel satisfied, so you can fast longer. Because the fasting itself and the combination of low carbs is really what's going to help you start to adapt.
Get into the point. Hold on. He's going long and drawn out. I was trying to find like a quick like boom, boom, boom. Like what happens when you fast. Here you go.
What happens to your body if you fast for 36 hours? After just 4 hours, your body finishes digesting food. Insulin levels begin to drop, and your body starts tapping into stored sugar for energy. By 8 hours, blood sugar begins to fall. Your system now relies on glycogen stored in your liver and muscles to keep you going. At 12 hours, glycogen stores start running low. Your body begins burning fat for fuel. Insulin continues to decrease, and you slowly shift into a state called ketosis. At 16 hours, your body enters a deep cellular cleanse. Autophagy begins. It's your natural detox mode, where damaged cells are broken down and toxins are cleared out. By 24 hours, major cellular repairs are in full swing. Inflammation drops, fat burning accelerates, and your body becomes more sensitive to insulin. At 30 hours, growth hormone levels spike, preserving muscle mass and accelerating fat loss. Your body enters a deep healing state. By 36 hours, you reach maximum autophagy. Dead cells are cleared out, tissues are regenerated, and your metabolism gets a major boost. You've just given your body a full reset. Subscribe for more daily health tips.
Bam. God bless you, Colton, brother. You're basically in ketosis when you're starving. Yeah. But oddly enough, the feeling of starving goes away after about the second day. If you continue with water, and the more, you can't drink too much water. There is such a thing as water intoxication. Yeah, you add so much water to the system that the red blood cells swell. It's like the opposite of sickle cell. The red blood cells swell so much that they can't hold oxygen anymore. So then you basically drown. I heard once that your IQ gets higher while fasting. I've heard that also. But think about it like this. Your intellect drops the higher the amount of toxins in your body goes. Like, you see people that live in very dirty environments typically have lower IQ as a population. So as you get out of that, you get a boost in IQ. Same thing if you think about your body as being the land. Your body is full of crap just from eating processed foods and smoking cigarettes and weed and whatever, taking pharmaceuticals and street whatever. So fasting, like they just mentioned here, is when you get that cleanse down to like the cellular level. So the toxins that you've taken slowly just released back from your fat, poisoning you on the daily level. But if you get rid of all that, then the body can actually start to heal. Then when the brain is overwhelmed with toxins, it's worried more about repair than intellect, so to speak. Ketosis when fasting is only on a fat diet too. Right. Body is your temple. That's right. That's exactly right. And it sounds hokey, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Your body's the way that your mind communicates to the world, like how you see it, how you hear it, how you speak to the people in the world. And so the better running your system is, the better you're able to communicate. I fasted for 100 hours. Slowed time down, and everything felt like a dream, but somehow in a good way. I was meditative, and I wasn't hungry. I had to force food in. So, oddly enough, when we were last night's stream, we were looking into it, and they were talking the Russians, who have been doing this for like 50 years, 50 years. The data that they have says that the first like 7 to 10 days you get like an endorphin rush, you get a stimulant effect, clearer mind, more alert. And then when you introduce food back in after 5 to 7 days, you get an antidepressant feeling. So you go from like a euphoric stimulated feeling to an antidepressed feeling after your body gets back to where it's at. And some people crave that. It's a theory that like the Buddhists that do a lot of fasting are just chasing that natural enlightened feeling. damn, I should start to care about. You definitely should. Listen, I'm trying to change laws to how American schools and doctors communicate with their patients and children and the students, to change the way that we talk about nutrition, because we don't talk about nutrition properly. When we talk about a balanced diet, it's like balanced fats, sodium, cholesterol, and whatnot. We don't talk about, hey, did you get enough vitamin A, the B's, C, D, E? We don't talk about that at all. People don't think about it. Some people might take a 1 a day, but it takes till later in life, after you've been sick and you might have a vitamin deficiency your whole life, and the doctors have been giving you things for the symptoms of that vitamin deficiency, but never correct it until like something very bad happens, and then you actually get a vitamin deficiency test. But that usually doesn't happen. Genius Tracks. That's Siraj, brother. Christian asceticism is how they used to do it in the hot desert. Avergius, and St. Anthony. What up, Brian Dono? What up, Domination? What up, Rodolfo? Jeez, I ain't seen you guys in a while. I saw, Domination yesterday, but I ain't seen the other two guys in a while. How you doing? All right, I'm a multi-millionaire. Famous YouTuber gets himself and his crew arrested. 5 signs of autophagy. $100 million lost. Supergirl. 350-pound weight loss. Rufus the Bull. South Africa faces uneasy calm after June 30th anti-migrant protest. Africa is fighting off the migrants? South Africa faces uneasy calm after June 30th anti-migrant protests. Jeez. Who knows what? New record fuel, blah, blah, blah. New fuel records. New records for fuel prices, I'm guessing. Former Olympian. Yeah, look, this dude's getting 10 years for cutting up the pool. What up, ID1 Kenobi? 1D1. Okay, that's a Trump for flight. 5. I did 7-day water fast. Here's what happened. Even fit people have heart attacks. Yeah, heart attacks often from stuff like that come from low electrolytes. What's up, Paisley? Happy early 4th of July. You got 2 days to go. Nature of war. Fasting is the cure. Poverty Point. That's a pretty cool place, Poverty Point. Zero Drop. I just learned about that pretty recently. Rosie O'Donnell panics. 10 foods you should stop eating. Yeah, listen, you only do 3 things for your body. You pray or meditate, depending if you're religious or not. So you exercise and eat. So you should be doing the best of those 3 things. That's the only 3 things you do for your body. Like the freaking thing that makes you who you are. So you got to make sure that the food you're putting in you the best you can get. And if you're not eating organs and stuff, then you have to supplement with the vitamins and minerals that you're not getting. Anyway, it's important. Fast away back from dementia. Metal Jesus. Damn, he gained some weight. You guys remember this guy, Metal Jesus Rocks, from like freaking 10 years ago? Wow, he's plumped up. Anyway, love reality. Colon cancer. Jeez, we receive food aid. Intermittent fasting. How a Fokker a World War I plane, was manufactured in 1918. Quantum time. 1.7 billion bananas every day. Xanu Project Rethink. Yeah. I mean, but I'm talking about things that you do, like sleep. You don't like sleep's happening whether you like it or not. Like eventually, unless you have something very, very odd. But sleep, you don't have to like work at. If you're eating properly, exercising properly, and keeping your mental health straight, talking to the silence, you can sort out most mental health issues. A lot of mental health issues are from vitamin and mineral deficiencies. Absolutely. Like I show people this all the time. Like ADHD and vitamin B12 deficiency have the same diagnosis or the same symptoms. So if you go to a doctor and you tell them these symptoms, they'll say you've got ADHD and they'll put you on a pharmaceutical. But if you go to a doctor and you tell them those same symptoms and you have a B12 deficiency, then you're just going to be catching a buzz. You're not going to be fixing yourself. Then every time you stop taking those pills, you're going to feel bad because you still have a vitamin B12 deficiency. Fire. I sleep for 2 hours a day. Yeah, I couldn't do that, brother. I sleep like 9. It depends. I sleep between 6 and 9. Sometimes, sometimes after if I do like a 10-hour stream, I'll sleep like 10 hours. Okay, let's see. Depends what I got to do in the morning. Okay. What are we looking at? The African countries don't like each other. Their resources are stretched thin. Yeah. Well, listen, I was talking to this guy, this scholar from Africa, and he was talking about, had me look into a bunch of stuff to learn on my own. And I was talking about how you hear about colonization and, depending on what tribe you talk to, some tribes, like half the tribes in Africa, are like, they have songs about colonization because it was like the greatest thing that's ever happened to them because they were on the other side of the sword. And then you had the people on the other side, the people that were entrapping and warring with the other ones, the ones that were being hurt and warred against and killed. That that stopped it, but they keep thinking we could have had this land had the dirty freaking German or French or English come in and stopped us from killing everybody, and then the guys that got their lives saved are like, B12 sublingual's arriving Sunday. I can't wait to see my ADHD symptoms go away. Yeah, look it up. Vitamin B12 deficiency and ADHD. And ADHD. B12 is essential for nerve function and energy production. And research shows individuals with ADHD often have significantly lower B12 levels. So deficiency doesn't cause ADHD, but it can massively exacerbate symptoms like brain fog, fatigue, and inattention. This has been known since the 80s. Why doesn't every doctor that's got a patient with ADHD make sure the B12 is correct? I had ADHD. I was on and off of ADHD meds for 35 years. I was 6'4", 138 pounds, and none of the doctors I've had, probably 20 different doctors, 0 of them said, maybe you have a vitamin deficiency. Maybe you're malnourished, even though I'm eating every day. Maybe there's something wrong with your guts that won't allow B12 to absorb through. I don't know how much of the extent of the British Empire's nasty attempt at world domination, but I'm glad countries mostly take one another over much anymore. Yeah, you're glad they don't. Right. Yeah, me too. For the most part, right. But this is the thing. It's going to happen because it always happens. A community grows and a community grows. Then those borders of those communities grow until they touch each other. And those communities only know their communities and what they take from their communities. And they know it's either their community continues to grow or this community continues to grow, because eventually they're going to have to share resources. But that's not what humans do. They battle for the lives of their community members. So war is a natural thing. It needs to be managed. And a lot of people have no way to, like, mentally to manage them. It's always go right to the sword, always just explode in emotion and anger. So if that happens, you need calm heads, adults, to say, let's see how much we've got. Let's scout around, see how much water we've got around available for everybody and whatnot. But it's just easier to just Big Daddy. Yeah, because they don't care, right? Yeah. Those British often try to avoid accountability. Yeah, absolutely. Jesus, they don't need to colonize anymore because they set up a global economic system they use instead. I agree. What up, Ben? Yeah, I agree. The Mummified Assassin. Children of... Oh, we can't watch that. Dang it. It's time to take down this guy's freaking drives me crazy. They thought they won until today. Shredded at 62. The most obese city in the world. Jeez. Yep. Yeah, well, yeah. Well, when you figure out how to manage your resources, then you get an excess. You get an excess, and you say, okay, now let's figure out how let's do some math here and see how many people these excesses of our crops or our water or whatever resources we can handle, and what's the size of population they can handle, and you start setting things up. Then as you teach people about what you've done, then you go on adventure and you find more, and then you come back and you say, hey, tribe, I've found 13 clicks that way. I've found more water. I've found banana trees. I've found strawberries, whatever. But most people, like Africa wasn't even surveyed until colonization. They didn't even know how long the rivers were until colonization. So they were like, some people are just happy in the lives they lead, waking up, eating, enjoying the 75-degree weather all day and just hoping that lions don't eat them. And some people say, okay, I don't like my next door neighbor, so I'm going to go that way until I find something interesting. The British are here. What up, UK lady? Tell me what's good. They're going to come colonize the chat, and the redcoats are coming. American expat. Uh-oh. She's one of our spies. All right. But yeah, it's and that's the thing. Some people are adventurers and some people aren't. Some people will get onto the ocean, in the ocean with a boat, and some people never build a boat, right? And some people say, I'm going to go that way until I find something or die. Because you don't know you just fill the boat up with your resources, how much water and food you have, and then you just head that way until you eat and drink half of that, and then say, okay, we haven't found anything, let's turn around and hope there's no issues on the way back. Some people don't. Some people don't have an adventurous spirit. Okay. So there's an interesting thing too, also about fasting, that there's a theory, and it's not undeserved, that the reason a lot of people get better in hospitals is because they're put on an all liquid diet or an IV bag. So they stop eating while they're in the hospital, and it could be that. Like if you're just put on care to make you comfortable, and you're just not eating, and that's what's actually doing the healing. Like what else are you doing in a hospital if you're just hooked up with an IV bag? You're not exercising or doing anything like that. You're fasting. Dual citizen now. I have sworn the allegiance to the Queen. God save the Queen. She ain't no human being. Made you a moron, a potential H-bomb. The lady that gave birth to 44 children. Oh, jeez. What are we doing, Richard?
This lady gave birth to 44 kids before turning 40, and she raises all of them as a single mother. This is one woman's incredible journey of motherhood, but she refuses to be reduced to just that. I'm heading to Uganda to meet her and hear from her kids for what is sure to be an emotional roller coaster.
Wow.
I crossed the treacherous land border from Kenya to Uganda. So we just crossed the border.
You never heard the Sex Pistols? The Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen? She ain't no human being. No.
Pouring rain. And then hitch a ride 4 hours into the center of the country to meet my local friend who knows where to find Mama Uganda. Harriet and I are in a market in a nearby town, and we're going to pick up a bunch of goods and supplies for Mama Uganda. Yeah. We got 6 kilos of beef. The bones are flying off and hitting me in the face. Oh, we just bought a whole thing of matoke, which is kind of like plantains.
Very heavy. Oh.
I say tomato, Harriet says tomato, and that's because they have British English here, right?
Yeah, we speak
Throw tea in the fire. That's
we
funny.
say
That's
tomato.
funny. Our family's gonna need to build a
What are you
village.
doing?
All right, Taraj, have a
I'm
good night, brother.
checking whether they are ready.
What up, John?
All
Go
the food in
body.
Uganda is super fresh because we're close to the equator and it's really
44
tropical and
kids.
humid outside.
So there's issues sometimes with parasitic infection of the ovary, and it can be other things that causes multiple eggs to be released at once. So she's probably got some twins and triplets and quintuplets. I'm guessing. How else are you gonna bust out that many kids? Must have been whoa. Her man must have been tired. I love this guy. He's a great creator. Yep.
Weigh like 30
You're
pounds.
talking about me.
Everywhere you go in Uganda, there's kids that come up to you and smile. Hello. This little shop is perfect. It has everything we want to buy from Mama Uganda. Salt, sugar, flour, cooking oil, beans. I'm excited to bring it all to her and meet the kids. We got about a 2.5 hour journey to reach Mama
44
Uganda.
kids.
Starting now.
Yeah, Shutter. And he says,
We're
when
getting
was
close.
this? He says this was 2 years ago. There was another one done after this. There was another woman who I want to say had 50. Woman with 51 kids. Woman. I can't spell. Okay, Ugandan woman who gave birth to 51 children. 44 survived to adulthood. Her pregnancies, 6 sets of twins, 4 sets of triplets, 3 sets of quadruplets, and only 2 single births. Hyperovulation. Yeah, hyperovulation. Imagine that, quintuplets. 3 sets. So in 3 pregnancies, she had 12 kids.
Close to Mama Uganda's village.
Dude, that guy probably felt like freaking Superman. He was like, because he didn't know it was her. You know, he was like, I've got the sperm of a goat. Child mortality rate seems to be important. Yeah. Yeah, now she just right. Maybe she still has them. Who knows? She's only 44.
Or where she lives.
44 children by 40
The reason
years
why
old,
Uganda is so significant in this story is because Uganda is actually the youngest country in the world. More than 50% of all people in Uganda are under the age of 18. What's your name? Tell me about Mama Uganda.
Mama Uganda is just a lady who takes care of the younger children.
She produced many kids, more than 42. She takes care of the children, giving them food, health, medical.
So this woman here's a different woman. She's had 44 children by the time she was 18 or 40. Sorry, 18. She clearly likes baby showers, right? People are tired, like she's like, I'm having a baby shower, and people like you can hear their eyes smack their brain when their eyes roll into the back of their heads. I bet you they find Christian, they find don't use contraception. Maybe. She may have produced 2 gallons of way more than that. Definitely way more than that. 44 children? Maybe at one time.
We found Mama Uganda's house. Hi. Nice to meet you. Mama Uganda, you're a superstar. I've heard so much about you.
Never forgot. She's not yet a star.
We actually brought you a lot of stuff.
She's so happy.
Listen,
for
so
the food
if there was internet there, like what he should have brought is a solar set. Well, I'd probably get stolen, but a solar setup that recharges a webcam onto a battery that could go overnight, and a Starlink. Then she could live stream this, and she'd probably be a millionaire from donations from around the world. Colonizers brought that religion and ruined the culture. Their names are noises.
It's surreal to think that every one of these kids belongs to Mariam,
now you see
also known as Mama Uganda. Her oldest are 28 and her youngest are only 6. As a single mother in her
Trey, have you seen my video I put out today? I'll stop real quick. I'll show you this real quick. I put out a video about that today.
Everybody, we're going to do our best to help Zoran Mandami keep the temperature at 78 degrees. Cut. Screw that. Everybody, we're gonna.
Sorry, Zoran. Sorry.
Early 40s. How on earth does she do it?
How do you remember 44 kid? So I didn't see this one yet, but I saw the 51 kid one, and the older brother's like, I do not know. Sometimes like people will come and be like, I'm your brother, and I'll be like, hey. She can sell her breast milk for bodybuilders. How much? How would you remember that? What's his number? I bet you she can, but the father can't. Shit, man, could have made rich from the breast milk, so he's producing. Yes, yes, he's from Uganda. Yes, yeah.
She did not plan her own self to be a hero, but it was God's plan that it happened just like that, and she's proud of it.
Because he's like socialism worked so well in my home country that we should bring it to America. So freaking crazy.
Many kids here all the time. Is it difficult?
The biggest struggle that she has is to complete the school fees and medical, food. Sometimes they lack food.
Mama Uganda's story is a sad one. Forced into marriage at 12 years old, she gave birth 16 times to quintuplets, triplets, and twins before getting abandoned by her husband to raise all 44 kids on her own while working 3 jobs. I wanted to dig deeper and learn more about the reason she's so fertile, a medical condition called hyperovulation as a result of enlarged ovaries.
I got no idea.
They told her if she doesn't give birth to those kids or to those eggs, she will have those fibroids. The fibroids will damage her uterus.
Got it.
Yeah, and she will not
I guarantee
be able
I do. I know probably 500 just people in my stream. Easy.
Kid.
Well, but and like also like I used to have a big piece of green screen paper that was turned around backwards, and for like my first 2,000 subs, I would write their names on the wall, on the sheet, and so I'm really, really good at remembering names. I'm sure she could remember her kids' names, but the other woman, the woman that had 51 kids, her oldest son could not remember all of his brothers' names. Just so everybody knows, you don't get paid for winning Guinness World Record. Right? Yeah, you don't get paid. No. You pay. You usually pay for them to apply. How much does it cost to apply for the Guinness Book of World Records? I'm probably gonna be wrong. Completely free. Okay, wow. Okay, proposing a new record is $5. Breaking an existing record is free. Prior evidence review, $650. So it costs a lot of money. I hate AI overviews that I don't know an answer to yet. What up? Live to survive. Bro died from being driving. That's what happened to the other guy. The woman that had 51 kids, her husband did die.
Pair of twins, she got them when she was 13 years old.
Your first kids were at 13, and now how many kids did you have after that?
So she has 3 5 times, 5 times, 2 5 times, then 1 is the last born. So she has 15 pair of twins.
And how did it feel to continuously give birth so many times to so many kids?
She hated it. The other woman loved it. The other woman, I don't know if she was Catholic or not, but the other woman was told she would die if she didn't stay pregnant. She thought, and so what we were talking about was the doctor probably told her that she'll die if she doesn't have sex and have babies, so that he could be the one to constantly get the paycheck from all of these baby deliveries. And then, but because obviously after her husband dies, she didn't die and she didn't have any more kids. But she said, I was told I would die if I did not have babies. I mean, yeah, parents mix up names with just 2, 3. Right. Succubus like the woman in American Gods. Holy crap. Yep. Holy crap's right.
Giving birth on the first time, she was very scared because she was like, what is happening? But as it kept on coming on, she kept on moving on.
Do you have any relationship with your mother? at all?
That since that day when her mom abandoned her when she was 3 days, she has never seen her mom. That her father is still alive, the one who married her off when she was 12 years old.
How did that happen? Because when you were 12, you probably didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, that's one way to say it.
She believes her father sold her because he
the other
was
woman,
given cows, goats, and money. So it's like she was sold off.
Oh, she was sold off.
Yeah.
Just so the father could.
She had 5 quadruplets, so 5 times she gave birth. She gave birth to 4 kids each time. Then 5 the other times she gave birth to 3 kids. Then 5 other times she gave birth to 2 kids. She had something like, she has so many kids. Yes. Talk about hot dog that all the way. The education's important. When we first went to Afghanistan, they thought our tanks were made out of wood, and the soldiers thought they had X-ray glasses and air-conditioned clothing. Wow. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. Get those
That's
stuff.
terrible.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking,
Or maybe,
there's
might
one
not be
father
any
to
of
all
that.
the kids, right?
I don't see no crosses or
Why
any
is he
pictures
not
of Jesus
here
hanging out.
helping raise the kids?
Or Prophet Muhammad.
The main reason actually why the man abandoned her because that she produced a lot.
But they're his kids though.
Yeah.
So he just
that
didn't want
produce
to.
a lot, so he has another wife, and the other produces one. Yet for her
Yeah,
to
but
produce
the
was
man,
Mamie.
he gave her the kids. It was his choice too, the man.
You
Most
know
men
what?
out here
Listen,
in Africa,
maybe I've been on the internet for too long, but I do not know if I believe these stories. If I was her and her husband, I would absolutely say, hey, when these folks show up here, I'm going to be over there. Tell them this. These dumb Americans will give us hundreds of thousands of dollars. Or hundreds of thousands of dollars worth, even if he only gives freaking $1,000. And he's giving like $5,000 away lots of times. Her Kegel be crazy work. She'll be like Genghis Khan after himself, selling off child marriages. That practice, right? Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So, and that don't sound very Catholic to me.
Taking care of their kids, they take care of them when they have grown up. Like
slavery, African slavery is still going on today. Absolutely. There's more slaves in the world now than there was during the North Atlantic slave trade. More now. So it's still a thing. It was a thing there. Like the stories of white people going over and rounding up black people isn't true. Everyone knew that slaves were available for sale in Africa. So when people got enough wealth and got enough land, they would go buy slaves. And they still do. There's a slave trade that got caught in California just 2 months ago. So it's absolutely human trafficking. The drug cartels make more money off of human trafficking than they do off of cocaine. Damn straight. Online grift is big business. Yeah. Yeah, and listen, and that happens a lot. It happens so much, especially with a lot of these. Like, you'll see these guys that'll go out there and be like, here's this father and his 3 daughters digging in the sand for diamonds, and it's crap. I mean, sometimes it might be real, but most of the time it's crap. And then you'll have these people, and they'll set up a funding thing for them. Then they'll pocket 90% of it and give these people 10% because they're actors. But you can't tell. How can you tell? You're going to call up the Department of Africa and be like, hey, can you check me real quick before I donate $5 to this? No. Watch slave sales and sanction in the Sudan. Yeah, there you go. Jeez. The European usually prefer black people back then because white slaves couldn't handle the heat from the sun. Possibly. Slave trade in the Congo is absolutely mad. Yeah. Her kids could have 4-team baseball tournament. I'll say slave workers in Dubai is huge. Just watch Dark Side. Yeah, I'm very familiar. Yeah, that's right. And they put out the advertisement saying we need workers in Dubai. They fly them there, and then they take their passports. And slaves have almost always been given food and shelter. Almost always. because you paid for them. You don't want them to work 3 days and then die of starvation. You want them to work. You want to get your investment. You want to get as much out of your investment as you can. So like it's always happened. But people think, what do you mean? I thought the slaves just slept in the fields. No, absolutely not. You don't want them getting bit by snakes and freaking eaten by. No, absolutely. You protected your investment. It's like when you pull your car into a garage. It was the same type of thing. That was the mindset. Yeah. It's a system manipulation lies. It happens a lot. We still have gang leaders and trafficking. Yeah. What do you think OnlyFans is? So man, and you see English speaking girls on OnlyFans, but there's girls on OnlyFans that are absolutely from all around the world that are forced to do that. They're forced to be on OnlyFans, and it's just a catalog for prostitution, and it's trafficked prostitution. Yeah, absolutely.
Ladies, they know, she's going to bring dowry at home,
Did he treat you well in your marriage before he left you? Was he at least nice to the kids? Was he nice to you?
What kind of answer do you expect to get? At least Grove Street didn't do that. I don't like the words indentured servitude. Just call them slaves. Same thing. Right. They're slaves. Indentured servants at least got something out of it. Like indentured servitude, actually, if you like now, okay, if you want to get to, and that's still happening now too. The cartels are still doing it. Look up the bracelets, the different color bracelets when crossing the border in America. Whatever color your bracelet is how much money you owe the cartel for getting you across the border if you didn't have any money. So then as you went in there, you would be documented to say how much money you owed. And you were an indentured servant. You had to pay that money off, or a cartel guy would come and slaughter you. So that was like indentured servitude. You had to work doing whatever job you could find to pay your master, to buy your freedom. So it's still happening today. And I think a lot of like the reparations talk that goes on today is to try to make people think slavery's been finished and now we've got to answer for it. But it's a lie. Slavery's larger now than it's ever been. So it's like people should be like, let's stop slavery. Like I got friends who do adult content, and their stories are scary. I'm sure they are. Slaves all over the world. I mean, economic slavery and debt, 9 to 5. Right. At least you have the freedom to change jobs, Got to sacrifice or to satisfy the Amazon factory workers can't take pee breaks? They have boat people doing the same here.
12 years. So obviously there's no kind of love. It's like a forced marriage. So there was no good relationship.
So the 45-year-old married the 12-year-old.
Yeah, and the guy had 4 other women, so she was the 5th.
Miriam is the strongest woman I've ever met, not only because she gave birth to 44 kids, but for everything that she has survived. Listening to her story, I feel a pit in my stomach, but seeing the way she smiles at her children and the way they all smile back, I am hopeful for a better life for this family. She actually has this whole compound, almost like a school or something, that she can have with all of her kids. Mama Uganda is giving us a tour of her house.
So here, young kids that sleep here, both girls and boys.
This is a room for 9 of her kids who sleep here. You can see it's kind of like hostel style.
There is her daughter-in-law. She's the one who sleeps here, and this young little baby.
So that's her
grandchild.
Oh, your grandchild.
Yeah.
Mama Uganda, how many grandkids do you have?
F is right.
She has like more than 10.
More than 10. Okay, we made it to the next room.
There are 12 kids that sleep over here.
So between 9 in that room and 12 here, there's 21 kids already.
Yeah. Welcome to the kitchen. Okay. This is the local kitchen.
You're cooking every day for all these kids.
So they eat 3 times a day, morning, lunch, and supper.
And you have no help?
No, she
really?
doesn't.
Over here is the bathroom.
What, did she take off of work for filming? See, this is what I don't understand.
There's a big 5,000 liter water tank.
If she's got 3 jobs to feed the kids, did she take off of work for this interview? Beautiful. Sir Keith, Most healthier than the average. Guaranteed. And they're eating the organs and stuff like that too. So this is why you don't see vitamin deficiency very often when in people that eat the entire animal. It did look good.
Dropping it like this. If this runs out, how do you get more water?
We go and pump water.
Would you take shower with this water?
Yeah, we use this water to take shower.
Is this drinking water too?
Yeah, we can drink it. Also cooking food.
We're having a little watermelon party over here with all the kids. This is like one of the best watermelons. It's so sweet. They seem to be happy.
Yeah.
Mama Uganda, is good? When they cook here for all the kids, they have to use a pot that big so they can make enough food to feed 40 people.
So the reason why you see them kneeling while peeling matoke, it's a tradition here in Uganda. You have to respect food, so that is a sign of respect.
What makes you happy in life?
Her children make her happy. And also watching the soaps. Even
watching soap operas.
Roman Reigns.
What up, Kadra?
Yes. Mama Uganda's maternal instinct is evident even towards me. While she is cooking, I get a chance to sit down with some of her older boys. What is it like to grow up with so many brothers and sisters?
Sometimes it's bad, but we cooperate and we love each other.
Are you like really close with all of your siblings?
We are so close and we love each other. So.
Do you fight with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't fight. We fight sometimes, as you know.
Compare slavery with the 9 to 5.
Sometimes.
Right. Yeah, they didn't get wet. Right. I just finished K-pop Demon
Hunters. For now, we are at home because of school fees. The mom doesn't have school fees.
Yeah.
How much is the school fee?
As me, I pay 200K.
She watched soap operas.
Yeah, not for me. Each term.
Each term.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. So being a wage slave is one thing. But straight up slavery isn't being a wage slave. It's, depending on what country you're in too. Like in America, if you don't work, if you quit your job, you can get food stamps, you can get housing assistance. It's not like you will get whipped and not. The type of so there's a difference between slavery and chattel slavery. There's a difference between indentured servitude slavery and chattel slavery. Chattel slavery is you are seen like a dog, you're seen like a cow, you're seen and if you die in the fields, you're just compost. There's no special burial for you and stuff like that. And then wage slavery is the you're just a number on a chart and a cog in the machine, but you're free to leave. You know, and I hear the fireworks, probably a neighbor blowing off the fireworks. What up, Thadiel, brother? Some people try to make their life a soap opera. I agree. It's crazy stuff. Like animal without animal rights. Yeah, you're not seen as human, so you're not given basic human rights. And you never have a chance to do anything outside of slavery when you're a slave. When you're a wage slave, you do have the ability to put in more effort outside of your slavery to start a company and do things you want and freaking. So it does do a disservice to the people that have actually lived it. The reason people say 9 to 5 is different form of slavery is because wage labor constraints, lack of autonomy, leaving a job without alternative can lead to immediate financial ruin. There's more to this, but I can list up. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but that's more to talk about the type of consumption society we have. We often get paid enough, even in minimum wage jobs, to be able, but you hear people complain because they don't get what they want. If you get together with 4 people, all minimum wage, you can afford a house, you can afford a car or 2 to split amongst you, food for everybody, power, internet, cell phones, and all that. And you could work together to work your way out of it, or start a company together, or do side gigs or whatever. So there's a possibility. It's people that want to do everything on their own. They want to show independence from the system. And it doesn't work that way. In order to benefit from capitalism, you must be a part of it. People that fight that it's usually later in life that they realize, oh, it's much easier if you don't try to beat the system. Like, if you can't beat them, join them type thing. And then when you get into the mindset that, okay, I'm going to help this company make as much money as possible, and then if they reward that, then I'll continue to stay with this company. And if they don't, I'm going to start putting in applications and whatnot. My neighbors are firing off fire. Happy America, 250 happy birthday, America. I used to. I worked in the movie industry for a bunch of years, and so I've worked inside and out, and dealt with the drama of the industry and the drama movies and stuff. But I don't follow like internet drama stuff. Open topic right now. It's this lady who had 44 kids by 40 years old. Whoever doing a fireworks didn't invite me. The minimum wage increased in the past 10 years with the inflation increase. So there's state minimum wage and federal minimum wage. Some states have increased their minimum wage, but federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. Unless you get, so there's a difference because you get tax breaks at that rate. So you don't have to pay nearly as much taxes as somebody who makes $15 an hour. My dad got his water pump replaced in his car. When I guess how much the thing cost? $300. What I've heard, minimum wage is the same. 1994, I believe, is when it went up. Maybe, yeah, I think it was 94, 97. When did minimum wage hit $7.25 an hour? Oh, sorry, 2009. Sorry, my bad. What was it in Georgia's state minimum wage? It's $5.15 an hour, higher minimum wage, right? So Georgia, right? And if you work in a bar or a restaurant, the minimum wage is $2.38 an hour, but you make tips. If your income isn't increasing 34.3% bare minimum every single year, you're losing money. Yep. Well, what you need to do is you need to make sure that money is making more than that. People that think their money is for spending when they're young lose it all anyway. So if you make money and you can invest it, and you can invest all the money, that extra money that you get into like the S&P 500, you're going to average a 10, 11% increase on that. So you can beat it, but you can't get what you want right now. You have to say, I want this in 5 years. And that delayed gratification is huge. Dog don't like the fireworks. Yeah, my dog didn't like it either back in the day when I had a dog. Trumpty Dumpty is sitting on the wall. What up, means? I'm going to, I guess because it's taking a lot of labor, probably $300. Part is probably $300. Well, I guess it depends. Some water pumps are easier to get to in some cars than others. Minimum wage was never designed to be, it was meant to be for kids, high school kids, and people working their way through college. I have an allergic reaction to 3 things: stupidity, felonies, and drama. A person shouldn't rely on tips, or minimum wage shouldn't be accorded to basic necessities. That's beautiful. That's some bullshit. Those are the tips. Those are the tips. Things only $2 an hour. Yeah, $2.38 an hour. Yeah. Some companies will give you $5, but the only thing that the $2.38 an hour is meant to do is cover your taxes. And that's how the system is. Minimum wage isn't covered by the service. Employee has to cut a check to make up the difference. Yep. It's either a living, a basic, or a life take a chance to get wealthy. Yeah, to make it up to the employer. Water pump is $4,000 to replace in his car. They say it's going to take. That's crazy. I think you're getting ripped off. You better get like another freaking. You better get another quote. That's crazy. That's crazy. Average cost for a water pump replacement in a car. Between $400 and $1,100. That's crazy. $4,000. Somebody's ripping him off. When California raised the minimum wage to $12 to $15, it had massive consequences. Right, destroyed a lot of small business, and now they raised it to 20. I think Seattle raised it to 20, and now like 50 small restaurant chains that have been around for like 20 years are gone, and all those people's jobs. He got another opinion. He did get one somewhere else. Listen, that's crazy. That's crazy, Katra. That's freaking crazy. I can go get a used car right now for $4,000. Learn how to replace a water pump. 4K for water pump. You must be pumping Fiji water. That's a picture of you, Chuck. You see, there's only southern states that seem to pay $2 to $5 an hour of service. The West Coast are getting $20 an hour plus tips, right? Yeah. I mean, when I lived in Maryland, it was the same thing. It was $2.18, and then they got a 20-cent raise. It went from $2.38. So I mean, it was standard. I mean, this was years ago. I came down here 15 years ago. Minimum wage for waiters. $2.13. The standard provided tips bring the earnings to at least $7.25 an hour. If tips fall short, the employer makes up the difference. California is $16.90. New York is $16 to $17. Washington $17.13. I thought they just raised it to 20. When was that? I don't know when the data was from that. It says you just Department of Labor. Oh, January 1st. So yeah, so that hasn't been updated yet. That was from January 1st. So yeah, it's $20 an hour now. But I didn't leak out the car. I just sucked it right up. Yeah. You better find one. You gotta either find one or do it yourself. Honestly, it's that's wackadoo stuff. That's crazy work. They're getting freaking $3,000 profit easy on your dad.
Siblings.
What's the best thing about having so many siblings?
You can't be bored.
States that do that. The West Coast,
you can't be bored when you have many brothers.
What's your favorite game to play?
I like play football.
You like football?
Yes.
You play with your brothers?
Yes.
What do you like about your mom?
She loves us.
She loves us.
Do you love her?
Yes.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to become an engineer, like in US, those big countries. And also, I want to that I have a YouTube channel.
That's awesome, man. What's the name of your channel so people can follow?
Yeah, it's called Mama Uganda and Family.
Awesome, man. I think it's a great idea. You're 17.
Yeah,
I started YouTube when I was 26. So you already have like 10 years to start on me. After bonding with Mama Uganda's son, he wants to show me his gaming business, which sounds really innovative.
People come here and play games.
It leaks a bunch of radiator fluid. I don't know if that or damage. Listen, it might not be the water pump. Listen, that's crazy. So it might be a whole water system. It might be a radiator, hoses, pump. Might be a cracked freaking. That's crazy. That sounds like an engine replacement. They say the NWO wants you to own nothing to be happy. What's actually going with that? What's actually wrong with that? Just popped in my mind. What's wrong with it? Because they don't want any competition, and that's the problem. I got a competitive spirit. I want to beat them. I'm not gonna own nothing and be happy. No, absolutely not. They must be replacing the blinker fluid. Trump is just signing executive order for the right to repair. Yeah, I'm very happy about that. We will see him as an Uber driver here in the U.S. a few years. It's nice to be the Uber Lyft driver. They said engine's good shape, but it might be the water system and stuff. Yeah, head gasket. Yeah, but that would be water in the oil typically. Trump will deport Canadian geese. Is it a Subaru? What goes wrong? I want to buy something. Cracked head and gaskets. Yeah. Head gasket 3K. Yeah, that sounds more like it. I just looked it up for his car model, and it says 3.5 for higher end. So, yeah, so that's still high. 4K is still $500 higher than that.
It's a separate station to be making some small money which can help our family.
When I grew up, I used to always play
Not the cracks by the exhaust ports.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah, and it came into my mind because we have very many young people.
He went to Kampala to buy it,
steam out
and
the
now
exhaust.
He charges for people to play, and then he helps support with food and stuff. That's really cool, man. I need to pay $500 because I'm playing.
Okay.
I'll give you $1,000 for 2 players.
Thank you.
It's your business. I gotta donate. Okay. I'm the guy on the left. Okay, let's go. I feel like I'm a kid again playing PlayStation. Dude, you're good, man. I lost. Good game. It was pretty fun to battle against Miriam's son, even though I got my butt kicked. Now we are heading into the nearby town to check out Mama Uganda's small business and learn how she's able to afford raising her kids.
I don't know. That sounds like an unbelievable lot of money. What year? What year is the car? You don't have to tell me. You look into it. If you did the work, you looked at it. You looked it up. He'll build a big net and deport them geese. It'll probably be a big net connected by a bunch of red, white, and blue drones. Buy a 2,000-mile or older. Yeah, you can get a 2010 for $4,000, like freaking Nissans and Fords. Maybe he's getting ripped off a little bit, unfortunately. It looks about right with the other stuff. Goddamn. Was it an accident or it just started leaking water? Pretty easy if it overheated. Yeah, that, I mean, yeah, we don't really know what ever happened, right? No, it was
Nearby
PC, I thought it was.
Against Miriam's son.
It's sitting on top of a PC.
Playing PlayStation. I'm the guy on the left. Okay, let's go.
I don't see a freaking PlayStation. Oh, no, there's a PlayStation controller. I see.
I'm the guy on the left. Okay.
Yeah, anybody see a PlayStation there?
Okay, let's go. I feel like I'm a kid again playing PlayStation. Dude, you're good, man.
Maybe it's a.
I lost. Good game. It was pretty fun to battle against Miriam's son, even though I got my butt kicked. Now we are heading into the nearby town to check out Mama Uganda's small business and learn how she's able to afford raising her kids.
I can feel the rain coming and you can hear the thunder. And it's the middle of rainy season right now. So what up, Stevie? We're gonna get there in time. It's crazy when you see her walking with all her kids. There's like so many of them behind her. She holds hands with them.
And everyone is happy, super happy.
Are you kind of a local celebrity? Do people know you?
Is that what it is? I bought those things up. It should be here in a few days. And the shirt as well. Hey, the shirt showed up.
If you could say one message to mothers out there, how to be a better mother, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I don't know why.
All the mothers out there.
I don't know why I can't update the delivery speeds on it. What up, Lamb? I don't know why Lamb donated $20 to the channel for YouTube Premium. Give him a sub. And just like a few modern products are built to profit. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's called manufactured obsolescence. What's it called? Intended obsolescence. They basically design it to be obsolete. They use plastic parts that are just thickened a little bit so it'll last about a year or two and then is bound to break. What's going on, chat? Like, share, and subscribe. 110thgrade.com. What up, Truman, brother? She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. That's funny. Planned obsolescence. Yeah, planned obsolescence. Right.
Learn how to take care of your children, because a child is never a mistake. Even if a man abandons you, at least the little you have, you can share with your kids.
There's been old wives' tale for like hundreds of years that oysters are aphrodisiacs, and now that we can do chemical analysis, we see that oysters have like 500% your daily vitamin or your daily zinc concentration. So then you see, well, okay, but when you go to the doctor, and doctors know this, when you go to the doctor and you say, oh man, I'm losing my libido, they don't say, hey, well, maybe get on a zinc supplement and ionophores. They say, here's some freaking wackadoo, here's some freaking Viagra, here's some whatever. Yeah, planned obsolescence. Right. All sorts of car companies only want their techs working on their cars. Yeah, I did notice a lot of people don't hit the like button. Yeah, they don't like me.
Probably start running because it's about to start pouring rain.
Hit the like button. Like, subscribe.
We're all soaking wet right now.
Oh, it doesn't work.
My
eyeballs.
As they say in Africa, when it rains, it pours. Woo! I found one spot with shelter. I wish I was a kid again. You have no worries in the world. You just enjoy what life throws at you and don't complain.
So we are heading to where she works, the small restaurant where she operates.
I have a question about healthcare. So how do you deal with if a kid gets sick? Which hospital do you go to? You know, how they get general health care.
I've had oysters and they don't do crap for me, and I've had well, you're young.
She takes them to private.
You're young, and you may not have a zinc issue, and also you're wackadoo. Oysters are not good. No offense. Zinc helps so much. Right, zinc and zinc ionophores help with all these single-stranded RNA viruses, Ebola, freaking COVID-19, hantavirus, all those viruses, the flu, all of them. The way that their genetic material gets transmitted from the viruses into the cells uses a pathway that zinc and zinc ionophore stops. I think my libido just don't exist very much. That's a more recent thing. There you go. Modern products are built like crap because China and other countries know we're totally dependent on them. Right. That's why we need to get manufacturing back in America. Fried oysters are the bomb. I got a video of me eating raw oysters with my family. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Boom, boom.
All right.
Do you want cocktail, Richard?
No.
Too spicy.
All right.
Ready?
There you go.
They are good.
Here, I saw that. Briny.
There you go. That's me, my brother, my sister, my father. Just weird how the shirt is still not here. I'm not mad. Yeah. It's slow. And I didn't even see what state it's coming from. There's like 5 printers, there's like 40 printers around the world. There's 5, I believe, in the United States, but there's one here in Savannah, Georgia, so they get here pretty quick. Some lady told me, think if you're beginning to feel under the weather, seems like, no, it's definitely not placebo. It's definitely not placebo. Yeah, I can go for about 4 hours, no troll. Anthony, because the Democrats said all of our manufacturers shipped out of the country. Yeah, back, that was the old school Democrats. That was freaking, not Biden, Bill Clinton. Love raw oysters. Just put some hot sauce and lemon juice on it. Takes about an hour around. Not me. My ass is in bed in an hour. What's the meaning of your channel? More than you'd learn in high school and college. 110th grade. Bam. But January 10th is my birthday. 110. I'm just whacking to it. Don't give much of sex driver cars. Yeah. At least Toyota says they make their cars to be at least 30 years. Yeah, Toyota's probably the most reliable car company. In those shitty third world conditions, right? That's where you see freaking in the middle of the desert and in Africa and stuff. Have you ever watched birds get haircuts? Yes. It's funny. They look good. Well, did you already send what you said you were going to throw in with the shirt? Yes, I already sent it. I sent it yesterday. Camrys are the best cars ever made. It's not fun. Partners don't like it. It gets painful for them. I just used a stamp, so however long that takes, first class mail. It's painful for them. You still have a Toyota, bought it since 1995. Yeah, my brother had a Toyota Camry, got into an accident. It ripped the radiator off the front of the car, and we were in Baltimore, Maryland, and we drove from Baltimore to Glen Burnie, 15 miles with the air conditioning on. No, not a drop of coolant in the engine, and it did not overheat. Just the air flowing over the engine kept it at normal range. Ever since then, very often I'll be like, man, damn, I'm getting strep, damn, I've been getting COVID, no BS. Yes, it absolutely does. Look at this. Look. Look, boom. Look at that, look. Oops, I put the. Let's see if I can find it.
Give you a biology lesson. There are many viruses.
Do you recall your last colonoscopy? Yeah, I was 40.
We categorize
anthrax. Just very good. Yeah.
Genetic material, and so there's a class of viruses.
Watch videos of trans saying now she had to put melon
RNA viruses.
Couple of
some of those viruses include all the COVID strains, COVID-19, influenza virus, RSV virus, Marburg virus, Ebola
Who cares?
Virus,
Who cares? I'm tired of that. Listen.
And there are a few others. The point being is that they all are single-stranded RNA viruses that use the same common pathway in making copies of their genetic material.
About that,
it's something called RNA-dependent RNA polymerase. That's what I've been talking about for the last 2 years in the context of COVID-19. But if we extrapolate that to thinking more broadly, then it's the same mechanism of treatment using zinc ionophores and zinc could inhibit all the strains of COVID-19, influenza virus, RSV virus, Ebola virus, Marburg virus, and hantavirus.
Right. So there you got. So they all work the same way. They've known for freaking 40 years how all of those viruses work. They don't tell anybody to supplement with vitamins and minerals. They just figure people know. They look on the sides of all of their foods and they say, okay, this has got this much vitamin A in it, so I need to get it up to 100% by doing this and that. Nobody does it. Nobody does it for the B vitamins, C, D, E, magnesium, zinc, calcium. Nobody does any of it. They say, oh, I'm watching my macros, but you're not watching your vitamin and mineral intake. So you got a whole freaking population of people that are deficient in something, and then these things come around, they go crazy. Do you know the only people that were like immune to COVID-19 were smokers because the nicotine levels in their blood were high enough that it destroyed the spike protein? Yeah. So this stuff right here, this right here, quercetin is a zinc ionophore, and bromelain dissolves spike protein. So if you have any spike protein type virus in your system, it'll dissolve it so it can't transmit its genetic material. And then quercetin helps with that also with taking a zinc supplement. So even if it does, it can't transmit this genetic material. And it's cheap, $23 for freaking like a year's worth if you just take them every other day. Katra. I care because people shouldn't get fined for following the law. Listen, I'm over it. Like, I tried to be an ally. I tried to help, but they've got to police their own communities from putting bullshit on the internet and going crazy. There's too many people that when they try to correct bad behavior get called transphobic. So I'm over it. I'm just so over it. They chose this life. And when they chose it, the law was already that way. They tried to get the law changed, and then everybody went crazy. I'm over it. Let them figure it out. If they're your friends, I'm sorry. I've got friends that don't have to deal with stuff like that. I can't believe that Toyota drive without coolant. Yeah. 15 miles easy. What's cool is to bring a Toyota still honoring the free lifetime oil change and tire rotation. It was pretty cool. The deal came with when new. Yeah, zero coolant. Shit, most Toyotas are most reliable car company. I agree. Some people call me the space cowboy. Yeah. So balance vitamins and minerals. You have to. You need the proper amounts of vitamins and minerals and ratios in your body to do your body, to make dopamine, serotonin. Like, you have people that are deficient in B12 and they have ADHD-like symptoms. But if you go to the doctor, you're just going to get ADHD pills instead of getting B12. If you have anxiety, ADHD, a B12, methylfolate, a vitamin D3, and you got all of these issues that could be corrected in people with deficiency, or that the symptoms could be seriously suppressed or reduced, and even the doctors don't give you vitamins and minerals for when you need them. And they rarely ask you, and if you ask why, they'll say, well, I'm not a nutritionist. Well, then why shouldn't I just go see a nutritionist first? And then they're going to make that cost more money. And then when they give you pills for symptoms that don't help the deficiency, and then it doesn't work, you don't get your money back. You don't go to the doctor and be like, hey, for the past 35 years, you've been giving me this, and that. Well, it ended up as a vitamin deficiency. Can I have my money back? No. That is not the way it works. Did you hear about the massive nuclear fusion reactor in southern France and replicate the sun's energy to mass? I have not. I like Tornado Wrangler. Every time I bring it in for an oil change, tire rotation, sales manager, the owner, and the dealer always ask me if they want to sell it. Do you know what capo regime is? Capo regime. Oops. Listen, life doesn't have to be easy for everyone. And somebody else tried to make their life easier by making other people's life more difficult. That's not cool. I got things I got to do. Anyway, okay, let's see. Capo regime, capo, called captain or lieutenant, high-ranking mafia crime commands local crew, soldiers, and associates. Regular leadership between boss and lower levels. Capo is the buffer. Street level soldiers. No, I never knew what that was. Sounds like it. I'm 49, Bruiser Bears. I won't ever. I won't ever. I grew up in that truck shifting for my mom when I was younger. Memories still dealer once it let me know. Showroom quality. There you go. You missed what happened last night. No. I don't think any of that's good. Listen, all of the alkaline water, you're dumping it on acid. You're dumping it on stomach acid. So even if it's like a couple of decimal points alkaline, you're dumping it on stomach acid. I mean, listen, I do not know, but I do know that if you add acid to alkaline, you make it acidic. And you don't know how much acid's in your stomach. And like, so it's not like if you just drink a gulp of alkaline water in a stomach full of stomach acid, it ain't gonna do nothing for your body. And then if you drink a whole bunch of water with a little bit of stomach acid, it's not like it's still. So I just can't see a benefit. I can't see a benefit. Is that the water bottle brand? Yeah. Throwback Thursday. I wish we could have a theme nights like reminiscing over days, progress Sundays, where we plan to do something to better ourselves. Yeah, we can start doing something like that. Join the Discord. Oh, you joined the Discord. Yeah, whatever. Oh, you're busy though, brother. Richard filled his drawers and had to run to the bathroom to clean himself. He's gone several minutes. I know a Jew when I see one. No, you don't. I'm not Jewish. I'm a Christian, and I broke my nose a bunch skateboarding. Good try though. John, I love your idea, but I fear a lot of my memories are just meh or crap. Should never happen, barely. Smart water, yeah, marketing, absolutely. I'm your hot boyfriend, Space Cow. You look like Andy Dick. Dun, dun, dun. I get that a lot. Here's a secret Jew. He's a secret Jew no matter how much he denies it. Many years ago, Andy Dick. Yeah, not right now. Jeez. Who's Crab Man? You're not Cowboy. I am him, I swear. Okay, let's see. Most bottled water tastes like pool water. Well, listen, the thing is, they're allowed to use municipal tap water. They don't have to, unless it says spring water and says what spring it was pulled from. It can be like Dasani is filtered tap water, and they add some freaking supplements to it to make it taste. They add some metals to it. Why not? I'm not busy right now. I'm trying to die in a hellish blast now with fans to the Northeast. All right, well then let's get something working, brother.
Most of the time she buys the drugs and keeps them, and also she gets local herbs and boils them. If a kid gets sick, she gives them either local herbs or the real medicine.
We're just walking into town here, and all of our kids are just scattered, running around.
Yeah,
this whole place is a playground. So this is your restaurant?
Yes.
We're in the back kitchen, and it's pouring rain outside again. The kids somehow knew we were coming here, and they all showed up at a restaurant.
Yeah, she's cooking for other people who are coming to have morning breakfast and also lunch.
What are you making?
Matoke, chile. She's preparing meat, chicken, fish, matoke, sweet potatoes, rice, all the local foods.
How are you able to cook for other people and your own family every day?
That she's a hard-working woman. After preparing food here, she will go back home and also prepare for her children.
It is just about dinner time here. All the kids are gathering around, sitting next to Mom Miranda. They've been cooking this food for the last few hours, and you can see the size of the pie is huge because he has to feed all the kids here. And
listen. Okay, let's check that. Let's check that. Don't slander my goat. A lot of people swear by Fiji water that's just $8 a bottle or something. Hey, look, listen, if you're drinking that stuff and you do not have a water setup at home, you're crazy. You're absolutely financially irresponsible. For $200, you can get a kick-ass row pot or freaking their Berkey that it gets absolute superior performance. And the Robot will tell you how dirty the water is going in and how clean it is coming out. It goes through 4 filters, reverse osmosis, and UV to kill all the bunch of wackadoo, take out all the wackadoo. And yeah, and it's like, let's see how much row pots are. They're probably like $400 now. I got mine $210. Row pot water filter. Row pot. $409, $317 now. Yeah, and these are the replacement filters, $89. But yeah, if you're spending $8 a bottle of water, that's crazy, because this will give you hundreds of gallons, and then you just have to replace the filters like every 2 years. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Purple crime. Boiling. Once that leaves, Joji. I think toys were better in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I remember Rambo, Turtle Set, Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joes. Right. You remember when like Transformers were actually cast iron and stuff? We also blast formed some tornadoes stoked me in the 90s. Yep, modern day toys suck. Voss. That's like the glass bottle, right? I think it's good because that Toy Story 5 focus on putting out digital devices. I'm doing live. Even the guy on Steam said Southern Wisconsin has been having active weather all year. Been a hot spot. Tap water kind of short. I definitely would not drink that stuff, dude. No way. I have a hand dug well in my yard that me and my father dug. I knew something was coming up. It was so nice last week. Like, why is the weather trying to kill me? I'm out and bam. Same goes for feed. You think it's storms? Not so much. Who's the crab man? This country lost a lot of family time during the video going to the store scrolling. It's killed so much. Yeah. Fiji anymore. I seen it tested and didn't do well. It's a scam. It's all that water, bottled water is a scam. If you're not making your own water, look, you get a glass lined or a stainless steel thermos, refillable water bottle, and you get a water filter system at home, like the Row Pot or the Berkey. I can't spell. Yeah, Berkey. This here, you just $200. You dump up like a gallon and a half of water up top, and it slowly filters through 4 filters down into the bottom, and then you got a gallon and a half of water the next day. You can fill up your water, dump tap water in the top, and it takes fluoride out, it takes chlorine out, it takes bull crap out. Yeah, and then you use it for like years. I bit my lip.
This is 3 times a day. And look how much food is needed for each meal. Toys R Us went bankrupt. Yeah, I read about that the other day too, like about what happened.
Dishing out everyone
drinking my grandparents' tap water. All of her kids are fed. It's pretty incredible to witness. And what a scene. This is breakfast, lunch, and dinner like this every single day.
Why is water more expensive than soda?
This is really
because people will pay it. People will pay it. Water companies create other water companies that are more expensive so that people that want to flex with their friends will buy the more expensive water, which is the same water in a different bottle. To say, like, I'm rich, I'm drinking a $13 bottle of water. So you have companies that make plastic, like 89-cent bottles of water that also make $8 bottles of water. Same water, just different branding, so that they can have a luxury brand and a freaking ghetto brand. I've also had water pumped right. Well, I camping, my sisters didn't like it so much. Come on, yeah. Voss seems to be the only brand standing behind truly good water. I mean, if it's good water, it's good water. Glacier water. Oh, well, maybe. I've had filtered lake water too. Love that stuff. The thing is, water used to be how we got minerals. Water is a solvent. It dissolves things. It puts things into solution. So like calcium, magnesium, we used to get that by drinking water. But now we filter everything out of the water. So if you don't resupplement those things into your diet, you're not going to do good. And if you have pure water, it's going to leach it out of your system. Some old lady told me to go. It's like, what? Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, they create a luxury brand. They just, it's just the brand. It's just the marketing, the label, the bottle shape, and then they just price it high, and then people will pay it because people think the more expensive it is, the more better gooder it is. Yeah, it's psychology. It's marketing psychology. A few years back, local water authority did release mandatory tests in our area. Turns out there was safe levels of arsenic getting arsenic built out. Yeah, great. What up, Rooster? Trump supports the best money. That's Bitcoin. It's your way to escape the matrix. I think for a lot of people, that's a good way to go if they know what they're doing. Going to dinner. All right, Trey, brother, have a good night. I'll be here for a couple more hours. Like how diamonds are actually cheap and make the brand make sense. It's right. The marketing, how things are marketed to you is how that your perceived value. A rock found on the ground that can be clear and shiny, it's been marketed to you like it's from God. And they cause artificial. So luxury brands do things called artificial rarity. So by either pricing it out of what other people can get, or only saying, we only make 3,000 bottles a month, and they're $500. Look, there's expensive water. Look, watch this. Look at this. I bit my freaking lip. Oh. The world's most expensive bottled water. 60 freaking grand. 60 grand. You think it makes your freaking butt cheeks dance? Most expensive water is Acqua di Cristallo Trebolo Modigliane, which is Guinness Book World Records, selling at auction for 60 grand for 750 milliliters, a fifth of a gallon. Contents. The water is from the Fiji, France, so it's Fiji water with gold flakes in it. Mixed with glacial Iceland water. Iceland glacial water. The Philco jewelry water, 219 to 1390 a liter. Kona Nagari water, 14,000 per liter. Hawaiian desalinated deep sea water. As a kid, I ate the heart-shaped clovers. Loved that dig in the dirt. Still digging the dirt. Eating the heart-shaped clovers. They aren't clovers. They look like them. Microbiome people. It's from Glacier. 60K a bottle of water. Isn't that a bottle came from heaven? Right. Good evening, Papa Bear. Consider my sisters about to come and hide in the back of the car. Gonna drive through having fun tonight. All right, let's see.
Really tasty. It's pilau. The original pilau comes from Uzbekistan. Did you know that?
No.
The first pilau, yeah. This rice is super flavorful. Different vegetables, spices, really tasty. Mama Uganda, how do you feel when you see all your kids happy and eating?
So it's very happy to see that our kids are happy.
This makes me happy also. You should eat now. After literally an hour of giving food to all of her kids, she's finally eating for herself. It is a beautiful thing to experience how kids all over the world will be kids. And I'm having a moment of gratitude for being here to tell this story. Mama Uganda is a warrior, a survivor, and a true legend. And I think it's really important to pay closer attention to African mothers and their needs. These children are the future, and I'm excited to continue watching them grow for years to come. That was amazing. Uganda is a lovely country. It's a country of youth, and that's it. The youth is going to run the world soon. So that's why I came here to tell this story. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you in the next video.
I thought he said sour grapes. Oh, grass is kiss. I thought he said sour grapes. My heart-shaped clover tastes like lemon. Lemongrass? Bunch of freaking wackadoo. Bunch of wackadoo. $40K bond. Uh-oh. Let's see who this chick is. Liz Murrill, M-U-R-R-I-L-L, M-U-R-R-I-L-L, M-U-R-R-I-L-L. Uh-oh. years ago, legend threats to New York officials. Uh-oh, she's in trouble. I saw the nose plug-in video, too. You can cuddle me. What did they get arrested for? It looks like alleged threats against New Orleans officials. We have wild mustard where I live. The leaves taste good. I was told it was planted by cattle ranchers 150 years ago, so it's $3,000 an ounce. Yeah, probably to feed the freaking cattle. Let's see. Indicted by grand jury. Have recruited. Well, it looks like she's being intimidated. Damn Republicans. Yeah. Yep, mustard steaks. Flavored from the inside out. Okay, let's see what's next. Pre-seasoned. Okay, Lovely Lamb Lunch is live. Let's see. I'm a multi-millionaire. What a bunch of wackadoos. Damn, security guard in Venezuela rescued from rubble 8 days. Can you imagine being under a building for 8 freaking days? Wild mustard grows like crazy in brutal conditions. That's probably why they grow it. Back in the day, they were a little smarter with with what they grew and where and why. 30 inches. Oh, I thought I said turning 48. Born folded in half. Jeez. How to stay in ketosis. The world's shortest humans. The Kamikaukas is coming. 104-year-old tortoise. Damn. Buddy, I've now lived for like Yuri twice. I don't know if it's preseason, but basically walking edibles is someone that bites me, they feel high. I liked the girl in high school, but she stayed friends because respectfully turned me down. I watched her get a boyfriend, and I'm just going to turn out. Yeah, because she was just saying that. That's the problem with kids getting into this stuff in like elementary and junior high. They just say it to be freaking different or now part of the club. Yeah, that's going to happen a lot, Katra. It's going to happen a lot. People just saying that. Because, for the past 10 years, you would get nuked if you weren't an ally. And, I go both ways, but, I really want Bobby. The Arkies swear by the spring water. But something's a little off with them. I'm sure you talked about this, but it looks like the walls are closing in around Ilhan Omar. I haven't talked about it yet, but it does look like that. It does look like that. J.D. Vance said that they already know that she committed immigration fraud, and they just are looking about what they can do about it. And then the woman, Amy, whatever her name was, that got arrested for the Feeding Our Futures fraud, then now the guy that took $250 million from the government and then went to Somalia, they got him, the Somali government helped to get them and turned him in, and now he's back in America facing trial. That Amy woman got 41.7 years for that $250 million. So, and apparently that's what's going on. I just looked it up. Sour grass is little yellow flowers. Maybe you ate those, Katra? She was not saying that. She's a very sweet person. We're still good friends. I moved on after a couple of months and decided, I still have her in my mind though, in my life, and that's enough. You'll have her in your mind for the next 30 years. Dating in 2026 is worse than playing poker. Agreed. What up, the core, brother? Alan Watts, no. Because all the things I love her. Can stay for the same as friends. Not like ever attention right there. Here's Alan Watts right here. What's he do? I never even heard of the guy. I'm not going to listen to him for a half hour right now, but I'll check it out. First transdural. I share my husband with 2 other wives. Jeez. Wackadoos. Yeah, isn't this crazy? This is the Milky Way. And you can see there's an open spot they call the Goldilocks zone where the Milky Way, this is our universe, and then the Milky Way is that little dot in the middle. So, like, if we were a little bit to the left or right, we would be impacted by millions of meteors and whatnot. And we happen to be in the most empty spot that we know of. The guy they found in Somalia, I think they gave him 45 years. Maybe I know the woman. Okay, yeah, the fraud is unacceptable. We honest and work hard and barely get ahead here in California. It's all nepotism. You're with Democrat politicians. Yep. Hey, I agree. Listen. I have no faith in politicians, and I know better than to know that what they say and what they do are usually the opposite. And everything that say about somebody else is something that they have done. So I'm hoping. Do you know Alan Dershowitz just left just registered as a Republican like 2 days ago? Alan Dershowitz, like the freaking Harvard professor for freaking 45 years, hardcore liberal Democrat, is now a Republican, and he wants to stop the Republican Party. The Democrat Party. And that's absolutely crazy that stuff like that's happening now. But yeah, but the fraud's gone absolutely out of control. Absolutely. I mean, and like from what they were saying before this new task force was set up, they wouldn't even investigate if the fraud was under $1.1 million. So you could steal up to $1 million and you wouldn't even get investigated because it wasn't worth their time. Supposedly now they're doing everything. Like I don't know where their new cutoff is, but apparently it's like 10,000. I did poker with a girl. Polygamy. I heard Alan Watts, but never listened to him. Yeah, that's the first time I ever heard of him. If you tell girls you can't get girls, they'll agree with you. Yeah, right. Yeah, you shouldn't say that. Absolutely not. The picture of Milky Way is not accurate. No. But it gives you the generalization of the Goldilocks zone. No, absolutely. They have no idea. We don't have that kind of resolution for the area, but there is the Goldilocks zone. It's a good, not accurate, but it's good to let people know how odd our spot in the universe is. Why would you Prince? Thanks to Prince. Maybe he needs to start travel with your mom now. People love difference in all seriousness. I get no action at home. Thought I was lame for years. I'm handsome and a mix of girly manly today. Some days I just want to be a man. But I just don't have invention. Yeah, don't do that. You'll grow out of it. They're leaving the D Party because the Democrat Party has realized what's going on. Yeah, absolutely. And so I mean, this holy grail or this hardcore swing at socialism now to try to save the Democrat Party. Like they're like, okay, well we got into bed with the socialists to try to get all the socialist votes mixed in to the Democrat Party, but now the party is so fractured. They done screwed up. Now, dude, Hillary Clinton is agreeing with Trump, saying that Trump's 20-step plan is the best way for us to get out of war in the Middle East, like to help Palestine and Israel. Like so now you've got like old school Democrats, long set Democrats saying that Trump's got good ideas. That's telling. They wouldn't be like, see, I just didn't like your ideas before, but now it's good. Now it's good ideas. Yeah. No, so right. They're like, okay, I'll help you stay in and help you take down the Democrat Party if you don't put me in jail. We built a temple of Rama and people poured down donations so heartily. But now the scam thing came out. What a shame people are sparing God even. Yeah. Yep, brother. It's pure evil. And I've said this since the beginning of my channel. The problem isn't Republican, Democrat, black, white, brown, purple, Jews, gray, blue, blah, blue. It's good and evil. It's good people that are willing to build and people that just want to destroy. People that can only get ahead in life by hurting other people, and the people that are willing to get ahead in life by taking the time and doing it. And it's a problem. And can find me a cowboy on a horse. She's a woman. We actually have a very detailed survey of the nearby cosmos. Okay, let's see. I mean, what? The very nearby. We don't have like the whole freaking non-artist representation of the Goldilocks zone. Okay, it gives me artist representations. All right, let's see. Universe Goldilocks zone. We need term limits, campaign finance reform, no trading on stock market, all of us 2 years out, all of us voter ID. Agreed. We also need to stop letting freaking Democrat and Republican, we need to stop letting people from outside of the country be mayors and shit. Absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We should be able, and it's not an anti-immigration thing or an immigrant thing, but when you're a mayor, if you do good and you're from outside the country, you can never be president. So it's like we could have other people building reputations and building a work history to make sure that they're people that we want to put into Congress and presidency. I think it's just so dumb. Let's watch the video on the Milky Way on March. Okay. The world wants me to be a girl. I low-key, I don't give a
Forget the classic pictures of stars scattered evenly
Democrats
across
are, yeah, Democrat Party's done. Listen, I worked in the movie industry. I worked with the liberals of liberals and the Democrats of Democrats. And there's no Democrats left. The independents are now Republicans. Everybody's voting Republican, and there's even a group of people that are voting Republican to try to save the Democrat Party. Their 10-year plan is to vote Republican for the next 6 years, and then work on finding a Democrat to get in the Democrat Party. So even the unions, the movie industry, are now voting Republican, not independent. They're voting Republican to save the Democrat Party. It's obvious enough that we've got cartels and we've got mafia and we've got whatnot in our government. The people that are profiting off of California is the cartels, and the people profiting off the prostitution are the mobs and mafias and the gangs. So you've got all this stuff, all this not getting arrested for drugs, not getting arrested for dealing drugs, and getting implements to use drugs. Where are the drugs being purchased from? The cartels. So the cartels are making a hell of a lot of money. So this whole defund the police and everything it just stinks of organized crime that wants to be able to have their sales. And then you say, let's let the government help the people that, with cash assistance and food stamps so that they can continue to do what they're doing in this freedom. But that's just transferring more money from the government ultimately to the mob and the cartels. Yeah, so yeah, they're done. They're done. Flipping my sauce, something to prove it. Yeah, don't do that. 100%. I agree. George Washington didn't want political parties. Yeah, I mean, hey, look what's happened.
You zoom out far enough, the universe looks
yeah.
like a glowing web. Galaxies are clumped into dense, brilliant filaments with colossal dark voids stretching between them.
Do you mean someone who born in America? Right, yes, born in America. What did I say? American citizens? Yeah, born in America. Grandparents, parents, American natural born bottle of Johnny Walker Red. Racism. 20% Missy busted about jitter is up. The demo or repo, anything comes into power, makes billions, same in every country. Right. And it's obvious, and they know it. So you have politicians in each country seeing what's happening in each country and who's getting rich off of which scheme, and then they're just playing it out in another country. Something that happened 50 years ago in Africa is now happening in government in Africa, is now happening in America, and it's just like, it's just obvious. If you don't learn history from school, it's obvious. We definitely need to. 100%. 100%. Hate how criminal because he cracked a joke. Yeah. All right, here we go. Don't say
amazingly take
say
up
it. Don't
the
spread. I
vast
want the news,
majority
not the
of
weather.
Universe, sometimes cited as nearly 90% of space. Well, most of the matter, the galaxies, stars, and clusters, is concentrated in filaments and walls, the strings of the web. According to a provocative hypothesis, the Milky Way isn't cruising along a busy cosmic highway. No, we're drifting inside a vast local underdensity, the KBC void, or the local hole. Estimates vary, but some suggest it could be around 2 billion light years across. It's a region where matter may be noticeably less dense than the cosmic average. Usually, this would just be a cool, slightly unsettling trivia point. We live in the cosmic suburbs, so what's the big deal? Well, our position inside this void might not just be a line in our galactic address. Viewing the universe from inside this massive depression could be fundamentally distorting our measurements of everything else. For decades, scientists have been...
Yes, absolutely. It's the same thing that the mob's been doing on the streets for a century. It's the same thing. It's the same thing they're doing on the streets for a century, using drugs that ended up being used in cigarettes and now being used in food and medicine. To listen, we've known for hundreds of years that opiates are addictive, and then you have the pharmaceutical industry giving out a different opiate, OxyContin, and saying, "Oh, it's addictive free. It's not addictive," and then it's addictive, and then they make $13.8 billion on it in a year, and then they get sued. For lying, and they get sued for $3 billion. So they made $10.8 billion in profit. And so, so it's the cost of doing business. Even if they only made $7 in profit after the lawsuit, they still made all their money back and then some. And then once they got away with that, they're like, okay. And there's like 6 vaccines that work with good data, and then now the government's stopping the flu vaccine. It's called for our military. And it's like, so now they've got all of these other ones, and we don't know for sure if they work or not. And the only thing that they say that the reason that they work is because the diseases aren't around anymore. But the diseases weren't around when they started giving them out. Like polio was drifting off, and measles was almost completely gone when the measles vaccine came around. So we do not have the actual data. Stuff in a dish doesn't necessarily mean, if it works in a dish, doesn't mean it works in a freaking human. So it's all kinds of wackadoo stuff. But regardless of even the vaccine things, you got to make sure that your kids are healthy. But we know how the biochemistry works. We know how it works. And the thing is, they do not talk about parasites. You never hear about parasites. You might hear about intestinal parasites, but not the whole freaking other spectrum of parasites. And you don't hear about vitamins and minerals. Like they have, vitamin A and D. You think, okay, the government's putting in our food what we need. And it's not true. The amount of vitamin D that they put in our milk is like a freaking 1,000th of what we need a day. I think it's less than that. Catcher, let's go. Yeah, I know. These guys, they're about to ban them. Trump's about to do a worldwide event. People need to stay patient. Yeah, I think he is too. I think you mean they mean to treat you, not cure you. If they're cure you, right? So the thing is, vitamin and mineral deficiencies mock some of the major diseases that we treat for, and I talk about this a lot. ADHD and vitamin B12 deficiency share symptoms. So when you go to your doctor as a kid and you have these symptoms, they say, that sounds like ADHD. Let's put you on a symptom control drug, rather than saying, hey, most people with ADHD also have low B12, and low B12 also exacerbates ADHD symptoms. So if I'm going to give you some freaking speed, I I should give you some B12 too. But they don't do that. So they do not fix deficiencies unless you're in the emergency room and they don't know what the issue is and finally find out that you're deficient in something. And that's the business plan. They take things out of nature, things that would typically be in our diet and whatnot is no longer in our diet. That leads to deficiency. And then you've got a vast catalog of symptom control pharmaceuticals. Yes, repeat customers. That's the job. Curing people will make them lose profits. Right. Yeah. 1932, 35, when vitamin D was discovered, the hospitals started to empty out and they needed to figure out how to stop making people take vitamin D. So they adopted lumbar psychology and made 20 milligrams, 1 million units. And they would say 1 million units will kill you. So now they tell us to take 400 to 600. And now we found out in 2015 that they did the math wrong, the statistics wrong, and it should actually be 8,895 IUs, or approximately 250 micrograms. And they've known this since 2015, and they still haven't even fixed that. No wonder I'm depressed, living in a cosmic depression. Long nowhere, probably pneumatic, being from the neighborhood of galaxies. Gee, looking for Mars. I think we are too, brother. Cosmic nomads. Some of us did from the shift of the dimension. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the Mandela effect goes away when they shut off CERN. Here we go again. It's 42. Yep, life, the universe, and everything. Most of your vitamin D do you get from that? Right, but most people now will use sunscreens and whatnot, and also a lot of people do not go outside, and a lot of people don't go outside in the cold at all. And a lot of people think they're getting sunlight through the windows, but the windows are typically UV filtered, so the UV light hitting your skin doesn't convert the cholesterol to vitamin D. There's a lot of issues. A lot of people wear sunscreen. A lot of girls wear makeup with sunscreen in it, and the short bursts of sunlight they get don't give them enough vitamin D. Yeah, parasites as well. Yeah. Paragard. Right, it's crazy how people will resort to politics when RFK wants to take dyes out of food. In Italy, 100% durum wheat, semolina water. Yeah, I agree. Yep, that's exactly why they did it. I've got that also. I don't play around. I don't screw around. I can't do that. Yeah, and listen, now the studies have finally been done, and the meta-studies have been done on ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and mebendazole and fenbendazole, and all of them work against cancer. So they're talking about thinking of anything in your body that uses the energies of your body, that's in your body that shouldn't be there, can be considered a parasite. And anti-parasitics don't just kill the parasite. They activate parts of your genetics that helps your DNA to repair itself and to stop damages. So, and pisses me off. What's up, Arian? It's not the Mandela effect, it's the Obama effect. It's always been, yeah. Vitamins, vital amino acids, which compose of RNA, DNA, double helix. We're not debating. We're talking about vitamins and minerals and the pharmaceutical industry. They get artificial cherry flavor beaver butthole glands. They do. Yeah, the musk glands. Yeah, correct. They use sunscreen to inhibit the ability of the body to metabolize vitamin D. Steam cattle carpenter for 31 years. I've been a carpenter for almost 30 years. I'm 49. I was a carpenter. I was a prop maker in the movie industry. That's what I just left to do YouTube full time. It's called Castorm. Yeah, beaver buttholes. Beaver buttholes.
I've been trying to pin down the most important number in cosmology.
It's right below the butthole.
The speed at which the universe is expanding. To do this, they use two independent rulers. The first ruler looks at the grand scale. It peers into the very early universe, studying the CMB, cosmic microwave background, the ancient light left over from 380,000 years after the Big Bang. Physicists don't measure the current expansion directly. They take a snapshot of this ancient light and, using the standard cosmological model, extrapolate what the expansion rate should be today. This distant ruler yields a result of about 67 kilometers per second per megaparsec. The second ruler looks at our immediate neighborhood. Scientists use Cepheid variables, stars that pulsate a rate linked to their...
Only the preparation. It was never originally horse paste, but it's been around for 50 years, over 50 years, and it was used in people. It was the number one thing after quinine to treat malaria in Africa for 50 freaking years. And it worked so well that they started using veterinary preparations. But the propaganda was that it was horse paste just because people could get it in horse paste. If your doctors wouldn't give you a prescription for it because it was off label, then you had to go get it from a freaking wackadoo. You had to get it from Tractor Supply. And that's what people were taking. And they were saying, you're not a cow, you're not a... But yeah, works good. I took a course ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Z-Pak during my encounter with the viral contagion that was identified 2019 from pilot in China. The hospital's prescribed unidentified viral respiratory infection. We can't even map the entire ocean. Yes, right. Only 5% of the oceans, of the bodies of water on this planet, only 5% of them are mapped. Steven Space War, which is interesting. When I was 14, I started full time. Brother, that's what I'm doing. I retired to do. I left the movie industry just January of 2025. 2025 to do this full time. Tractor Supply saved everyone's health with horse paste. Yeah, and like I know people that put it on skin cancers and moles and stuff like that, and apparently get good results. Diversity of life here on planet Earth is foundational evidence of other life on the universe. So possibly, but I'm guessing this guy will get into it. The rest of the universe is so unbelievably violent that it doesn't seem like there's a possibility. And then there's the lithium problem. But yeah, the universe is way too big for have only us. I mean, a carpenter. What are your thoughts about Loretto Capo staircase? It's truly amazing, this story. Well, we'll look into it. I'm not sure if I know what you're talking about right now. Unless you're talking, I don't think I know what you're talking about. I can't picture it. I held on to a tube for all over a year, just periodically when I have symptoms. But yeah, I mean, you can get actual 3 and 12 milligram pills, prescription free. It's safer than Tylenol. And we were given propaganda that, oh, you don't know how to dose, you'll overdose and whatnot, but it's safer than Tylenol, which isn't really that safe. But yeah, it's absolutely. That's 4 ingredients, damn near indestructible. A lot of people will swear by that stuff and use it all the time. I'm one of those people. But not, I mean, I don't use the horse paste. I use pharmaceutical human. Yes, right. And they're doing a lot, and a lot of very good studies. We should definitely do it. I'm a fan. I'm now a fan. I was an anti-Trumper, now a Trumper. The horse paste has ingredients for the human vision. Another cancer cure. They covered up. Dun, 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 dun.
True brightness to calibrate type 1a supernovae. These supernovae aren't perfectly identical, but they can be standardized and used as cosmic lighthouses. And this local ruler stubbornly gives a different result, about 73 kilometers per second per megaparsec.
I don't know, dude. I heard the possibility for there being life in the universe is higher than 1 to 10 to the negative 123rd, which means finding a number written on an atom somewhere in the universe because of how violent the universe is, because how, I mean, but there's different theories. Karl Marx, isn't he in New York? I'm not a big fan of Karl Marx. I read Marx when I was younger, back when I was a bright-eyed liberal. But unfortunately, there's no proper 1990s liberal party left. I mean, really, you'd call that MAGA these days, except for some things. But unfortunately, we've got a problem in the division of the Democrat Party right now that's taking the country in 3 different directions, and we've definitely got outside influence in our decision making, whether it's Iran freaking what's the other place called with the Jews and the freaking Arabs that live in that place by the Gaza Strip? Not India. Starts with an I. Oh my goodness, Israel. Jeez, one of those three. A second time can add scientists, people who don't know earthquakes coming. As far as I say, the Indonesia earthquake predictor. Hey, welcome back, brother. People coming to America tomorrow. What's the chances of being born in modern times with all these commodities? Is it a simulation? It feels like a simulation. Yes, it definitely feels like a simulation. The prescription pills have 26 ingredients. The horse paste has 4. They're not invasive. Look for real. The paste. People think it might be possible, it might be AI or robots. Yeah, well, it's the emotion that separates us out. It's really not the left versus the right. I just said it's different elite families. Right. And it's obvious enough that and there's more than 2 elite families. There's definitely multiple around the country, and we've got more resources available and the technology to do it in America than Africa does. So absolutely, people want to move in, and fracturing Americans and having us fight over left versus right, while you have people outside of the country making the decisions that are making our changes. I think AI had the Jabberwocky poke. Yeah, dude, I might agree with you regarding the Loretto Chapel staircase. Oops. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's pretty badass. Oh, if I can get into detail. But if you read the NIHC database, you'll find all kinds of fun things. Learn as much chemistry in your life as you possibly can, everybody, especially you young people. Absolutely. Learn how your body works. Learn how things are synthesized. Learn how transmission pathways work. Learn about zinc and zinc ionophores. Learn about the major vitamins. Learn how your body takes the food and moves it through the gut wall into the bloodstream, and then the things that take it from the bloodstream and move it to the bone and tissues, and you'll be a much easier life. Earthquakes big coming to South America following 27 hours of Mikazaki laboratory working explains the gas emission theory. Because Ami says it.
Totally different. For simplicity's sake, let's just say 67 versus 73. A 9% difference might sound like a rounding error, but in cosmology, it's a chasm. 2 reliable rulers are pointing to 2 different universes. This is a big deal. Think about it. The expansion rate is one of the key parameters used to calculate the age of the universe. A higher rate
alpha-gal syndrome caused by ticks can't eat meat no more.
Which makes it increasingly difficult to reconcile with the age.
Right with you, brother Steven. Absolutely. And if this isn't obvious to anybody with a brain, that when Bill freaking Gates starts pushing things like that, and alpha-gal popped up about 20 years ago, very minor, like cases. I know a couple, the wife had gotten a tick bite, got alpha-gal protein, and she can't even eat chicken, but red meat she has absolutely, she can't even handle it. And then now you hear like Google's working on mosquitoes, and Bill Gates apparently is working on ticks. What kind of wood is in that staircase in New Mexico? Okay, let's see. No visible means of support. Says it's built without nails, only wooden pegs. The identity, the type of wood it moved, okay, it's completed. Carpenters call it the address of the problem, but they conclude the staircase loft would have to be via ladder. Staircase interfere with the small space, led to seating problem. Hold on. The identity of its builder and the type of wood is still a mystery. How's the type of wood still a mystery? We can freaking scan metals like with freaking radiation guns. Bill Gates is a TED Talk talking about vaccine to reduce population. Yep, absolutely. I heard it. Have you seen Rupert Sheldrake's morphic resonance theory? Humans that share some memories, even with some evidence. So, and yeah, I don't. I know the theory, and I also know that part of that theory is why we have deja vu. That's our shared moment of like a glitch of someone else's memory. Like when we're walking down the street and we know we've been in this spot before and we've seen this exact thing. That's someone else's memory. That's overwritten. It's like a fraction of a millisecond right before. Like, yeah, it's crazy. It's similar to same physics holds up Japanese bridges. Most carpenters only understand Euclidean geometry and physics. My book of Gap Universe explains the disasters like earthquake, volcanoes. The best is the nuclear sun. Yep, sun's nuclear. Exponential curvature works by itself like an egg. Probably an extinct species of tree or just some weird, obscure, non-local wood. Yeah, it's pretty freaking spectacular. And how they bent it, how they, I'm sure they used heat and steam of some sort to bend it, but it's freaking pretty spectacular. Hand carved all over the place. Everything in nature, this universe constructed with the exponential curvature of mathematics. Agreed. I include everything in this universe moves. Yes. Boom.
Of the oldest objects, the ancient stars, globular clusters, and early galaxies. It doesn't mean the stars are literally older than the universe, but it reinforces that nagging feeling that something is missing from our map. The first instinct in such a situation is someone must have messed up. Maybe the telescopes are acting up or there's an error in the calculations. But no. Both rulers have been checked and double-checked, and then checked again for good measure. This discrepancy has moved past the realm of random error. The probability of this being a fluke or a telescope glitch is minuscule, roughly one chance in several million. But the source of the problem, systematic error, new physics, or our local structure remains a mystery. One of the biggest conundrums in all of cosmology, and it's driving everybody nutso. The standard model of cosmology, which explains almost everything else remarkably well, has hit a brick wall right here.
Sure you do, brother.
And this leads to a wild thought. What if the problem isn't the rulers and not the universe itself? What if the problem is where we are standing? Imagine a giant transparent bubble. Its walls are incredibly dense and heavy, made of massive galaxy clusters and dark matter, while the inside is nearly empty. Now place a few galaxies inside, including the Milky Way. They won't just hang there. Here's why. Gravity is the ultimate cosmic tug of war. Mass always pulls on mass. Since there's almost nothing in the center of the bubble, there's practically nothing to pull back. The dense walls on the outside, however, have overwhelming mass.
So what he's saying is that the cosmic bubble acts like what we're talking about right now. It acts like an eggshell. So but there's no solid physical structure. So the Earth and the Milky Way is here, and then there's nothing else until the sphere of the cosmic bubble of everything else is around us. But everything else outside of that cosmic bubble appears to be as dense. So just for some reason, there's a cloud of nothingness that protects us from the violence of everything else around us. Probably made of either yew or ash. Both are extinct, used by the Norse.
Just went out, and the galaxies inside begin drifting towards the denser outer walls. A local flow is created, and this is where a possible solution might be hiding. When our telescopes look at neighboring galaxies, they measure their speed of recession. But part of that speed, according to this model, might not be related to the global expansion of the universe, but to the local flow. We and our neighbors are simply being pulled out of the void towards the edges. The telescopes see real physical movement, but we might be misinterpreting its cause. Such a local flow, if it is indeed large enough,
well, here's the thing. And there is also a theory about light not necessarily losing energy, but losing speed as it passes through dark matter. So light's moving 300 million meters per second, and then as it hits a cloud of, let's just say, of dark matter, it might speed up or slow down as it passes through. And then when it gets out of that bubble, it resumes 300 million meters per second, 299 million meters per second. And we don't know. And if that's true, then we do not know the distances to anything, because we're taking it by the speed of light and the red and blue shifting to tell if it's moving to or from. But all the numbers would be wrong if light speeds up or slows down as it passes through dark matter. I've heard great. We're in a great. Yeah, that's what this is. This is what we're talking about here, Flap. How about expanding, contracting universe exponentially, holding on? So that's called the There's the Big Bang theory. There's the what's it called? The cyclical universe theory, which means it expands and contracts and expands and contracts. Cyclical universe theory.
Extra percentages to our local expansion calculations. And this is where the hypothesis becomes especially intriguing. It doesn't conclusively solve the mystery, but it offers a physical mechanism that could explain at least part of the discrepancy. We see real recession, but part of what we interpret as expansion may actually be local motion within a large-scale structure. But we got to be honest here. The KBC void is not a proven fact. It's a controversial hypothesis.
Right. And they say that due to the rotation that we're on the cosmic plane, that's the flat universe that you're talking about. We don't know. As we would have to get some sort of sensor outside of that plane to look back. And we're not getting there. They even show orbital passive planets around trajectories, flat trajectory. Right, yeah. I don't believe expanding space. I think the theory was accepted simply because it fits the Judeo-Christian world creation story. I don't know, brother. I don't know. Possibly, but there's a lot of absolutely anti-religiosity science that absolutely agrees, and it absolutely does not agree with Judeo-Christian. When it's actually more of a corkscrew on the vortex. Yeah, like going down a drain. God's definitely a clocksmith. What up, Space A-Set?
Observations do point to a local deficit of matter and large-scale flows, but standard simulations struggle to form voids of this size, and different data sets disagree on how deep and how large this depression really is. Therefore, we aren't looking at a finalized answer, but an ongoing cosmic investigation.
All right, we already know that light speeds up and slows down when it encounters magnetic fields. Right, there was just an experiment done, or at least posted the other day, that said scientists slowed down light to 17 miles an hour, and then, well, the what I heard was that they froze it, they stopped it. But the 17-mile-an-hour thing apparently happened, so that's definitely a possibility. Let's see. 1 divided by 2 radical, which means we have day, hour, minute, seconds. Those differences, there's hour and just days in the age of the universe and the Milky Way. My spiders are here. My spider sense. Then gravity fields. Question: is there a way the universe can pull every David Hasselhoff album away from human sense to be destroyed? You must pray. Thank you, Sparkles. Thank you for the sparkles. Bam. That was the acid. That's the acid doing it to you. Cosmology is a conjecture on top of conjecture. Right, and the thing is, each person that has a conjecture that cannot be proven, like you see some evidence or some data, and then you say that's evidence for a story that you concoct, right? And then and then you make a book and you make a curriculum and you sell that curriculum to a bunch of colleges around the world. You make a bunch of money, and then somebody else comes up with another one, and you rinse and repeat. And then if you have something that can never be proven, but you can keep the story going, you can just say, give me a few million more dollars in a few more years and I'll figure it out. And then after a few more years, you say, well, you find another little piece of evidence and you say, boom, and you keep that funding going. They do it all the time, and then it gets proven wrong. And they're like, well, the science evolves. No, you were wrong. The sun is a giant speaker driver. It plays stars and planets around the atmosphere.
The hypothesis holds up. Its implications could be measurable. To grasp this, we need to look at our cosmic address. The Milky Way isn't a solo object. We're part of Laniakea, a supercluster of 100,000 galaxies. If the KBC void hypothesis is correct, a significant part of our immediate cosmic neighborhood might be located inside this local underdensity. And if this void is real, it could noticeably affect the movement
the amount of decibels
our galaxy.
The sun is generating.
So why are we flying?
Yeah, actually, the other day we listened. I think it might have been yesterday. Maybe it was the day before. We listened to the sound of hydrogen and the sound of the sun and the sound of Saturn.
Gravity in the traditional sense. They're only regions with different densities. Inside a void, matter is noticeably sparse, while at its edges, in the walls and filaments of this cosmic web, the density of matter is much, much higher. This difference in density creates a gradient, a sort of tilt in the gravitational field. The dense areas surrounding the void pull harder than the nearly empty regions inside it. As a result, the movement of galaxies is determined not by the center of the void, but by the massive
energy supersedes. Oops.
Structures on its edges. Ultimately, the Milky Way, the local group, and our immediate cosmic neighborhood participate.
That's correct. Because you have like a vacuum when the air moves out of the way as the air like ripples through, and when you have a vacuum, you have a temperature drop. What up, Buckeye? Sun beat your ass today? Brownie in motion.
In a general drift towards denser regions. Relative to the cosmic microwave background, our local group is indeed moving at a massive speed, on the order of hundreds of kilometers per second, or about 1 million kilometers per hour. But we aren't just shooting out of the void like a bullet. Imagine our galaxy as a ship drifting slowly with the current. We're simply being pulled towards the parts of the universe with more mass and gravitational
everything has a resonant
frequency. And the journey to those dense shores will take so long.
Except for light. Does light have a resonant frequency? Does light have a resonant frequency? Burp. Okay. Light itself does not, right? Because it's an electromagnetic wave instead of a physical object, right. For instance, nuclear magnetic frequency of oxygen molecules can be attenuated at 60 gigahertz. Millimeter wave frequency, that's 5G. Dun, 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 dun.
That for humans, the picture remains almost perfectly still.
I was in a void
inside such a void. The dynamics of expansion itself can differ from denser regions of the universe.
I live in the South. Microwave uses the same type of RF energy to attenuate oxygen molecules that
determine the fate of the large-scale universe.
And that causes a vibration, what then causes friction and then heat. Atoms have a north and a south pole, and they align to ferromagnetic.
The second is dark energy, which is linked to the accelerated expansion of space. In dense regions of the universe, gravity is sufficient to effectively break local expansion. The mass of galaxies pulls them towards each other and they resist. But inside a void, the density of matter is several times lower. Gravity operates much more weakly there, simply because there are too few objects nearby.
Right, so you have a cloud of nothing, so to speak, rather than a cloud of dark matter. So if dark matter it contains its own gravity because there's matter, then theoretically, when light goes through it, the speed could change. Now, you would expect that it wouldn't be able to speed up, but you don't know, and you can't know because you can't get dark matter and bring it to the lab and test it. So in summary, the sun is actually very cold. That's why it appears black. The black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? The sun heliosphere is exposed during the Siamese and coronals.
To pull on each other. Voids don't expand faster because dark energy is stronger there. Rather, with less matter inside them, there's less gravitational braking. Therefore, under-dense regions become even emptier over time relative to dense regions. At first glance, this seems like a dry physical process, but it has an important consequence. Voids are a normal part of the cosmic web, but if our bubble is truly that vast, it might mean we live in a quieter cosmic neighborhood than the average dense regions of the universe. In dense galactic metropolises, conditions can be much more chaotic. Frequent galaxy mergers, supernova outbursts, and radiation.
Absolutely, definitely, 100%. Why do you think all of the laws of all of the people that espouse that philosophy end up being so profitable for the freaking cartels? Because they're outside of the system. They're outside. So you have a capitalist outside of the socialist system, capitalizing off the socialist system. You can't have a socialist or communist system inside it can't be its own bubble, because you're never going to be self-sufficient. There will always be capitalists from outside your socialist or communist system to support you and to benefit from that. And it always goes towards open air drug markets and open air prostitution and online prostitution and online. Yeah, absolutely. China is asshole. Your LED screen, for example, is emitting a blue-purple phase of photon spectrum, which means you're being exposed to UVC radiation on a constant basis, including all from different smart devices. You're getting that vitamin D, brother. Vitamin D, all including your modern lighting. Vitamin D.
From active black holes create an environment where stability is a rare luxury.
This is dark matter,
however, are located in an area where cosmic activity is reduced. Perhaps such a quiet region lowers the frequency of certain major cosmic catastrophes. But this is a very cautious idea. Life on Earth depended primarily on local conditions. Our sun, Earth's orbit, the planet's composition, and the history of our galactic environment. So the void can be presented not as the cause of life, but as a beautiful hypothesis about a more peaceful cosmic neighborhood. The story with the local void is merely a rehearsal for what awaits the universe next. Today, we're incredibly lucky. Our window to the cosmos is wide open. By some estimates, there may be hundreds of billions or even trillions of galaxies in the observable universe. We can catch the ancient light of the Big Bang and accurately calculate the age of the cosmos, but this window is already closing.
We can only calculate the age of the universe from the data we can get. If sensors got better and then we found a microwave background outside of the microwave background, everything would change. Everything. Oh wow, there was a double explosion. And that's why the antimatter flew out faster than the regular matter, so they didn't just all combine instantly. If matter and antimatter was exposed, or it came into being, was manifested, or whatever you want to call it, then it would just destroy itself. It turned into pure energy. So you have to have something that puts out the antimatter before the matter, or the matter before the antimatter. And so there could be an antimatter type microwave radio bubble just beyond this. And we could be completely wrong about everything. There's neutral light, which you call shadow light, the anti-light. That's what a DED is. An LED that makes dark. Dead. I'm funny. Antiphotons is basically opposite of directional spin from the DED.
Because the expansion of the universe is accelerating for sufficiently distant galaxies, the space between us and them can stretch so quickly that their recession speed exceeds the speed of light. This does not violate physics. Galaxies are not flying through space faster than light. It is the space between us that is expanding. According to standard forecasts, in a few billion years, the Milky Way and Andromeda are expected to merge into one giant galaxy. But true cosmic isolation will come much later, over hundreds of billions or even trillions of years, when almost all other galaxies slip beyond our cosmological horizon. The light from all those other worlds will simply no longer be able to physically cross the expanding space. In the cosmic microwave background, that same
It's that easy. It's that easy. And when you do something in communism or socialism, there's going to be someone, once the capitalists from outside of the system that will come in to build your schools, build your housing and whatnot, will want to get paid for that. And then they'll leave, they'll drive out of your socialist communist city and they'll go to their capitalist city with your socialist money, reducing the value of your bubble. It doesn't work. It's correct. This is reality causal isolation for the same macro value. UVC is detrimental to your skin, not like UVA and B. UVC? Didn't I used to buy stuff that off of TV? QVC. UVC radiation is supposed to be filtered in our atmosphere, however, it hasn't been in about 100 years, 10 years. Huh? UVC radiation is supposed to be filtered by our atmosphere, as it hasn't been in 10 years. Back because of the acid rain in the 80s or because of the ozone layer in the 90s?
Reliable measuring ruler from the beginning of the video will cool and stretch so much that it'll turn into an undetectable radio hum. The universe will literally erase all evidence of its birth. Imagine scientists of the future, some new civilization that arises in that era in another star system. They'll build perfect telescopes, point them at the sky, and see almost nothing beyond their giant galaxy. No scattering of distant galaxies, no obvious expansion, no bright relic clue from the...
So if this is happening, if this is true, and if all life on Earth died, and then if evolution is true, and then it evolves back into something in another 100 million years, whatever, after all of these things have moved farther away from us, and then by the time we get back into the area where we get back to the 1940s, and start using telescopes, there will be nothing to see because all of the stars will have moved farther away where there's no light coming back to us anymore. But if you expose human race to UVC in small portions,
the early universe. This is the kind of cosmic isolation that haunts my dreams.
I said, what the hell is that?
They will conduct flawless, absolutely precise calculations, and these calculations will convincingly show that.
I had a 6-inch mirror telescope, my brother did, so we would get to see. We saw a lot of the universe from the suburbs.
That their lonely galaxy is the entire universe, which has always existed and never changes, and they will be completely wrong. Reality itself will erase and hide the truth from them, just as the empty space around the Milky Way perhaps is hiding a piece of the truth from us right now. Perhaps the main secret of the universe is not hidden.
Yeah, listen, there's kids that are growing up in the cities that have never seen the they've only seen the sun and some very small spattering when power goes out.
In black holes and dark energy or supernova explosions, it's that the universe never reveals itself in full. It always shows only the part that can be glimpsed from a specific place, a specific time, and a tiny point within the unthinkably vast cosmic web. We're used to trusting our eyes and telescopes, but the cosmos is a master of illusions. And even if the invisible area around the Milky Way can change how we measure reality, the question remains open. How many more such traps are hidden in our universe?
Unlimited.
If you want to continue this journey and explore the strangest and most paradoxical mysteries of the cosmos, subscribe to the channel, because As we saw today, sometimes a void is not the absence of a story. Sometimes a void is the story. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next... Damn it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.
He had to get past 16 minutes. That's freaking crazy. Did you just say that the galaxy is not spinning faster than the speed of light? Did I say that? Oh, I didn't hear that. He said, well, so he said light can be going faster than that. If light is going light speed, and then the area from our perspective, from our reference point, and then that area of space-time is expanding, then it's pulling that light that's going light speed away from us faster than the speed of light. I live in the semi-boonies. Yeah, me too. I can go outside and see a bunch of stars. Mountain lions, I believe, the Arizona mountains. I'm in Georgia. I got a billion coyotes and occasional bobcat. All right, let's see what we're doing here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's see what we got. Black hole sun, won't you come wash away the rain? Black hole sun. Scientists have discovered a second biosphere on Earth. Vatican excommunicates breakaway Catholic group. Security guard rescued from rubble. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Mercedes just confirmed the Yasa Flux engine. Got those two. All right, let's see. Oh, you can't see what I'm saying. Light shouldn't do this. All right, we'll do one more about light.
You're looking at light doing something it's not supposed to do. Instead of spreading out smoothly, it's collapsing into bright, branching paths. And this isn't because it's following hidden fibers or channels or anything, quite the opposite actually. It's passing through invisible random variations that counterintuitively focus the light's energy into distinct paths instead of spreading it out. This phenomenon is called branched flow. In this video, I'm going to show you how it works and why it shows up on scales as small as the quantum realm with electron waves up to
the hardest thing to build as a carpenter or fix. The hardest thing to fix is someone else's work. The hardest thing to build, I mean, jointing like really tight, good joints, like freaking dovetails, like that's like not really carpentry, so to say, more as woodworking. But I mean, you know, good question. Yeah. Well, yeah. Other people's work is definitely the hardest thing to do. And the hills of California, high desert is probably similar. Remodels are probably the worst because you're opening a can of worms. Right. You're opening what other people hid and other people did wackadoodle stuff to make happen. I'm at 5287. Just spiral staircase. Spiral staircase. It's easier than you'd think. Once you do the math and you make the first triangle, you just build a bunch of them on your center, and you know it'll just do it. You know, so you're repeating the same piece for however many steps you have. So it's not the spiral staircase. Yeah. And you can, and like, I mean, now I'm gonna go to CNC. You know, you make the tread and yeah, just jig it, get jiggy with it, like $30 on Amazon.
World-sized scales and tsunami waves crossing the ocean, and even on intergalactic scales where energy is focused and branches by random variations in the universe. In the early 2000s, researchers were running what seemed like a routine experiment. They were injecting electrons into semiconductors at a tiny point of contact called a quantum point contact. Based on decades of theory, they expected these electrons to spread as waves through the semiconductor. Instead, when they imaged where the electrons actually went, they saw something completely unexpected. The electrons organized themselves into long branching filaments, even though there were no channels in the material guiding them. When researchers saw this data, it quickly became clear that this was a new type of transport phenomenon that previously had not been documented. But how do evenly distributed waves start forming distinct lines? Well, if you have a wave spreading through a medium that's completely uniform, then you have predictable wave mechanics that guide the wave through the medium. If the wave hits a new medium with a different density, then there will be some reflection and refraction at the surface, and the wave will continue onward. This is well understood and documented. For example, you can see that a wave of light bends when it hits a surface. This is due to the effective speed of light changing in the material. So when light hits different materials of different density or refractive index, you always get some bending of that light at a given angle. We don't even have to look at its waves. We can just look at it as a ray of light following Snell's law. And we see the same thing, reflection and refraction. But what if instead of hard boundaries with changing properties like density at a surface, there's a gradual change in density? Ions. Well, then you wouldn't get hard boundaries of refraction and reflection, but you would get gradual turning. You can see this when I make a liquid that gradually increases in density toward the bottom. It bends my beam of light. But now imagine that instead of one gradient of density from high to low, you have random variations of density.
So this right here, if there's the dark matter could be bending light, and that's why it appears that we're on a plane. So as you would expect, the light that's above us is being bent. Like if there was a galaxy above the plane, the light could be bent through that dissimilar gradient and medium and putting the light into the plane. So it could be a sphere, but the density of the matter, the dark matter or matter, could bend that around and just make it appear that way. The path of least resistance, just like the roots of a tree, or water or power. Electricity current. A friend of mine, Union Carpenter, he had a booklet handed out. Man, that thing explains how to build anything. Yeah. I mean, really, you can build anything. You just got to break it down into, you don't have unlimited length lumber. So you break down the whole design to the smaller sections, and you just keep, it's like Legos. Space isn't a vacuum that confines our star. Space isn't a vacuum, confines of our stars because, again, it's acoustic waveform driver. And two planets essentially cancel each other out and create the vacuum. But outside the protection of our stars, geometric nanobolts don't have a vacuum. That's cheating. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you're definitely not. And this is why, like, AI and robots ain't gonna replace freaking hammer swingers.
Like this. So imagine I have some material where the density varies according to this graph here, where the z-axis up is density or refractive index, and it's spread out over a 2D plane like this. Now, using this matrix, I can model what happens when a beam of light goes through this randomly varying density matrix. A beam that moves through the medium but kind of follows these density gradients in the local vicinity. So overall, the beam passes through it, but it has these random-looking deviations. And if we have two beams, then we get the same thing. 3, 4, 5, all kinds of random movements through the material. And you don't really see a pattern yet. But watch this. Something amazing happens when we add thousands of individual beams. The beams congregate into channels and branches. These branches propagate and split through the material. Change the beam angle ever so slightly, and you get a new pattern of branching. This is branched flow. It's an emergent phenomenon that seems fully chaotic, yet it's not quite chaotic. As the original researchers described it, branch flow is on the way to full chaos, but it's not there yet.
It's knowledge being passed down.
Branch flow is surprising.
It's efficiency. It's not cheating.
Because there are no channels of density in this medium. The density changes are random with no paths. But because those variations are smooth, nearby beams experience the same gentle bends. So instead of scattering independently, many beams stay correlated and gradually drift together. One way to see this branch flow in real life is to make a soap bubble. The surface of the bubble looks pretty uniform, but it's not actually. There are locations on the bubble that are slightly thicker and thinner than other areas. Because of this, light caught in the middle of the bubble's water layer will reflect inside that layer. But since some places are thicker than others, the light has to zigzag longer distances in some regions than others. So the thickness of the bubble slows down the effective wave propagation of the light, similar to how a change in density affects waves. This gives us the exact conditions we need to see branched flow. So now if I just take my green laser pointer and shine the light right into the middle of that bubble film, let's check what we see. But before we do that, I want to thank the sponsor for this video, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online.
Don't use this freaking
With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via messaging, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist in the app or online anytime and schedule a live session when it's convenient for you. And if your therapist isn't the right fit for you for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you would expect from in-office therapy, but with more scheduling flexibility and at a more affordable price. BetterHelp accepts both HSA and FSA cards, making it even easier to prioritize your mental health. In 2024 alone, over 137,000 people used their HSA or FSA benefits for therapy through BetterHelp. So be sure to use yours before they expire. So get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/actionlab, or just click the link in the description. And thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to our experiment. Now the key to making this work is to shine the laser pointer directly through the thin water film of the bubble. Now that's actually pretty hard to do, but if you just get something like a glass cup and dip it in your bubble solution, it'll make this bubble film on top. And what you're gonna wanna do is shine the laser through the glass right where the film of the bubble is. Okay, let's shine the light in here. Whoa, look at that. I can totally see the branches forming. The branch patterns are continually shifting and changing because the locations of those thick and thin spots on the bubble are changing and flowing with air currents. This phenomenon that I'm showing here was first seen with light using the same method only in 2020 when it was published in the journal Nature. It's amazing to me that we're still finding phenomena like this that we're...
There was a problem. There was millions of dollars on FSA and HSA cards that needed to get taken off of those cards. So something was developed as a way to do that. The problem was there's too much money on these health accounts, these health savings accounts, and they needed to come off. So they developed a way to do it. Sometimes the problem isn't to help people that needs to be fixed. Sometimes the problem is there's money that needs to be collected. The condition of COVID on everybody. The whole world went through agoraphobia. They naturally isolated themselves. Conditions of the AI too, right? And they stayed in the house and they didn't get sunlight and their vitamin D levels dropped, which made them more
hiding in plain sight. Once branch flow was discovered, we started finding it everywhere. For example, in 2011, tsunami researchers were surprised to find that tsunami wave energy formed branching patterns as it traveled across the ocean. And it became clear that these branches were examples of branch flow caused by smooth random variations in ocean depth. Even the familiar pattern of sunlight on the bottom of a swimming pool is related. It's essentially a slice of branch flow created as sunlight passes through water with slight, smoothly varying density and depth. Branch flow even shows up in sound waves. For example, if I record a plane flying overhead and then look at its spectrogram in Audacity, with frequency on the y-axis, time on the x-axis, and color representing loudness, you see these vertical streaks where all frequencies get louder suddenly. So you kind of hear loudness pulses in the sound when planes fly overhead. That's due to the small variations in air density and temperature.
I got your random variation right here. Nature is neat, though.
Concentrating the sound waves on the way to the ground. Kind of a sound version of one point in space of the light at the bottom of a pool. Again, these air variations are not branched, they're actually randomly distributed, but they cause the sound energy to be branched in specific locations. Branched flow is an amazing phenomenon that appears wherever waves travel through a medium with small, smooth variations in density or speed, especially when those variations occur on length scales larger than the wavelength. We even see similar branching behavior on cosmic scales, where small gravitational variation focus matter into the filamentary large-scale structure of the universe. However, despite how universal this phenomenon is, it was only recently discovered, and even now is still barely touched on in modern physics compared to other fields. The reason for this is because it's easy to miss. If you zoom out far enough, branch flow just becomes diffuse wave spreading. You have to catch it at the right scale to notice it. And another reason is that whenever we model waves, we typically assign the medium they're propagating through some average density or refractive index or thickness. We don't include the small continuous variations that exist in real life. And the result of this is clear. For example, here are two models with the same average density. In one of them, there's purposeful variation in the refractive index, but the same average. And in the other, there's no variation. So you don't see branch flow unless you model the small imperfections that exist in real life. Branch flow is the perfect example of a phenomenon that emerges when you include the random imperfections found in nature. The real world is an imperfect mess of interactions, but somehow out of this chaos, order emerges. And to get that order, you need the chaos. And thanks for watching another episode of the Action Lab. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, consider hitting the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.
All right, everybody. I'm going to call it a night here. I'm a nerd, a very large, muscular, dangerous one. I'm a nerd, a little less muscular, still dangerous. All right, you guys have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Nice to meet y'all. See you guys tomorrow.